You're watching Swiss Watch International's World of Watches. We're so glad you've joined us. This is the best 3 hours in watch television, possibly in all of entertainment. But we certainly have a whole lot of other good things for you, like getting all of your holiday shopping out of the way in the next 3 hours. Now, I know that you've got watch lovers in your world, and if you are particularly on a budget, everything in our first hour is going to be under $200, and you're going to see some incredible watches at that price point. Our next hour is going to be all Swiss made. Now, if that's not good enough, in our third hour, everything is going to be on 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. We're looking forward to really just blowing your socks off with the great values that we have, and you're going to see some things you've never seen on the show before, some brand new introductions. I'm Wiley.
And I'm Megan, and we are so excited to have you. Now, how the stress-free payments work, in case you're not familiar, is it's actually the opposite of a layaway plan. It is an interest-free payment plan that allows you to get your purchases after you make your first payment. So today, in our first and second hours, everything will be on 4 or 5 interest-free payments. Those are monthly payments. After you make the first one today, you'll have either 3 or 4 remaining once a month. And then again, in our third hour, when everything is on 6 interest-free payments, that is our maximum here. So we really are doing a lot of that pre-holiday shopping and trying to get you ready. So whether you're choosing to pay for the entire thing with our first, second, or third hour, or taking advantage of the stress-free payments, you always get free shipping, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and free returns. Now, that's the other thing. You never pay a restocking fee or what have you. It's so nice. So we always encourage you to take advantage and shop during World of Watches TV. Every day of the week, you can go to WorldofWatches.com and shop thousands upon thousands of items. But when you tune into the show with Wiley and I, that's when you save even more and you have the stress-free payment option. I'm so excited to get ready for this first hour because there are some brand new, as he said, watches. But ladies, there's a lot of stuff for us as well. And I think the first item in this preview is an all-new ladies item.
And some of the things are incredibly affordable.
Absolutely. This is a Lucian Picard timepiece. Now, for those of you not familiar, Lucian Picard is a brand that has been around for over 90 years. Here, our parent company has taken over that brand and done an exquisite job of keeping up that same brand heritage in a very modern feel. For $100 here, you'll get the 36mm Casablanca. Even the name is romantic. It's all 18-karat rose-tone stainless steel with a beautiful white dial and mother of pearl in there as well. That's right, ladies, a mother of pearl dial. $25 for interest-free payments, $287,706.
One of our favorite brands, not just because we own it, but because there's an awful lot of style and value within it, is Ben & Sons. The 44mm Voyager happens to be a wonderful new introduction. You've only seen this for the last few weeks, and if you're just now joining us, this is truly an everyday watch that's an adventurer's watch because it is really pulling from a military, a field style, and just a vintage heritage within the watch. But because of the size, 44mm, and just a few style and design elements on the watch, it really has a 21st century feel to it. Now, the watch has one of the most comfortable, genuine leather straps. I love this light brown. I know that you do too, Megan. It's just one of the ones that really stands out there. And when you put it on, you're going to see the natural shape of the case, and the strap just hugs the wrist. It's like you've always worn it. It's only $94.99. Now, don't wait for it to go back up to $150. We want you to get the best value possible. And it's going to be on 4 stress-free, interest-free payments of only $23.75. That's all it takes to get this watch home. Wait till you see it live.
Now, ladies, if you always thought you'd have to spend a lot of money to get a Michael Kors watch, well, Merry Christmas, because the 26mm Lexington is available to you not at that $180 price, at the $120 price, and what I love even more, you don't even have to put out $120. In fact, if you put out $24 down, a brand new everyday timepiece. That's what I see in this watch. A silver tone watch goes with everything. You can wear it now, wear it 5, 10, 20 years from now. The style is always relevant. And at 26mm, it is a petite Michael Kors, but it's got that luxury look. I do love the mirror polished coin edge bezel on there and that high-end flexible multi-link bracelet. 230-604. I'm going to call that one a little baby Michael Kors. Now, my hot pick, I went a little fancy. That's right. This watch, this beauty, comes up in our second hour today when every single item will be Swiss made. And I went with something that I believe is a wardrobe staple. In fact, I am wearing, yesterday on the show and today, I wore two of my favorite daily wear wardrobe staple pieces, which is what I call the silver tone timepiece. You can see I'm actually wearing a men's Raymond Weil right now. Here, a Swiss-made Movado. That's right, Movado. The same Movado that you see in the malls, in the department stores, always encased in those beautiful glass tables where you can see them next to price tags like this one that says $1,500. So you think, all right, well, Movado is just one of those brands that unless I'm celebrating a big anniversary, unless I've maybe got a bonus at work, I can't necessarily shell out $1,500 for a watch. Yes, you can today, because $120 tonight is all it takes to buy into this beautiful timepiece. Now, what you're looking at is a 33 millimeter. It is a true classic beauty. Gorgeous. When we come in closer on the dial, you'll see where I believe the superstars reside. Because inside the dial, you've got genuine mother of pearl. Look at that. See that gorgeous pearlescent dial backdrop? Now notice a few things that make this very similar to the iconic Movado look. The concave dot at the 12 o'clock position. The original of this design is known as the museum dial because of that concave dot. It's meant to signify the rising sun. What else you've got in here are 24 individual diamonds set for your hour markers. They've broken out your 60-second subdial at the 6 o'clock position. And on either side of that, the magic words, Swiss made. Everything on this timepiece is elegant, from the sapphire crystal to the Swiss-made quartz movement inside. With the diamonds and mother of pearl, that's why this is a watch that retails for $1,500. But yet today, it's only $600 for you, and that's with 5 payments. So how does that work? Well, all you have to do is call up our customer service or go online to WorldofWatches.com. Item number 280854 for the LX Diamond. Whether you choose to outright pay the $600 or lock it in at the $120 monthly price, if you wait until midnight tonight, the price increases to $1,000. So think about that. You'll end up paying, if you wait a few more hours from now, you'll end up paying $400 more for the watch. That's crazy. I would never do that, especially considering every single item in this first hour is under $200. To me, just think about how much more shopping you can do with the savings if you just get it now. Here's how it plays on my 6-inch wrist. I mean, you cannot deny this is gorgeous. It is elegant. I want to come back to a closer shot so you can see some of the rose tone. It's nice because you've got this beautiful, almost rose tone for all of the hour markers, the hands, and the 12 o'clock position. Notice the way it's a slimline design, the way it lays so beautifully on the wrist. Sorry, I got a few smudges on there. I was practicing and playing with it before the show started. Daily wear bracelet, so you've got brushing and mirror polishing, so it's not too flashy at all. And then it's not too casual to where you couldn't wear this with a cocktail dress. I have it with a collared shirt, perfect for a day at the office. But ladies, a watch like this, again, I believe to be the wardrobe staple. And you don't have to wait for that big birthday, that anniversary, or that bonus check to come in the mail for you to afford a Swiss-made luxury watch. Because right now, for the price of an okay quartz watch, probably something sporty, if you're using the stress-free payments, which is what I'm talking about, for $120 down, you get a $1,500 watch. And if you're purchasing this as a gift for someone, because I think this would be beautiful for a young woman, for a woman of any age, actually, as it is an age-appropriate style, you'll get it brand new in the box. Just like you would if you went to the Movado store at your mall or near where you live, just like you would with all the packaging, all the paperwork it comes with, the warranty that the Movado store would offer you, all of that you get here with us, and we take over the warranty.
Absolutely a beautiful watch. And whenever I'm out you're out and about too, you always notice Movado watches. Now, they come in a variety of different styles with the dial. You're probably very used to seeing that museum dial, which is probably one of the most classic since 1947. Now,
I like it with a twist, kind of that classic look.
That's exactly it. You usually see it in black. This is a modern interpretation. It's been around for 60 years. So you can see a lot of different interpretations of this. And if this isn't just the right one, check out our website because we have some other styles of Movado that may be just right for you.
All right, thank you. You know I'll be reminding you about my hot pick all show. So take advantage, ladies. Last look. And now we go on to the gentlemen's, of course. I don't even know what you actually picked today.
You know what? I bet you've never seen this on the air before.
Which one is it?
Take a peek. I'm going to show it to you.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, yeah.
He loves these new Lucian Picard watches. You can purchase quite a few different styles.
Yep, that's why we're moving to a new studio. I bought enough watches they can afford to build a studio. They're beautiful.
They are nice.
I mean,
They're gorgeous.
I have an old school Lucian Picard. Maybe you have some of those at home too. Even when you open up the back of it, it is gorgeous on the inside. And then kind of Lucian Picard just kind of became average.
Lost their way.
They did. And now that we are at the helm, not you and I,
no,
but
thank God, no, they'd still be lost.
We're watch collectors.
Looking for them.
We are watch collectors, but we have watch designers who are absolutely geniuses. I want you to take a look at this brand new design, which really does have a look of a vintage feel, but like probably nothing you've seen before, and not at this price point. I want you to come in as close as you can on this because the unusual and beautiful elements within this watch really do sell it. Are you seeing something at the 6 o'clock position like an entire rotating dial?
How cool is that they've done it with Arabic numerals?
Oh,
I've never even noticed that, and I like that it's in the intervals of 5.
It is absolutely beautiful. Now, the watch is a 45 millimeter case, so it's just the right size. The Bosphorus is a very unusual watch. I want you to look at that record style, almost circular Côte de Genève, but it is a circular record style imprint in the center of the dial. You have an outer chapter ring with the Arabic numerals that kind of raise up almost in racetrack style. Then you have 2 bridges across 2 subdials that are a part of your small seconds, which is in a very unusual configuration. You have a locked into place sweep hand for your chronograph. I'm going to show you when we start it right there. There's our start, our stop, and our reset. I also need you to see that just tucked away at the 3 o'clock position is a date complication, but it's a reverse date wheel, black wheel, white lettering. Now, the Sapphitech crystal is certainly going to protect that Miyota OS 11 movement. That Japanese movement is going to be reliable and accurate for years and years to come. Now, the watch even has 30 meters of water resistance, so should you get pushed in the pool, caught in the rain, don't worry, your beautiful dress watch is going to hold up. It's 316L stainless steel. You can see that it has a dual pry-apart deployant. Now, I have a small wrist but a large hand, so I need that larger opening to get my hand through there. Now, you can see that screw down back, which is going to help add to that 30 meters of water resistance. But truly, the star of the whole thing has to be that beautiful, beautiful dial.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Niso Barokas, the creative director of our company-owned brands and obviously the head of the designers behind all of these, he named this after the Bosphorus Strait, which is the strait that provides the division between Asia and Europe.
Obviously. But you know...
But of course you already knew that.
Why, yes, Megan, of course I did.
Interesting though, right?
No, you know, I love how they've found the names. You know, whether it's the Matador, which is coming up later, or whether it's going to be the Trevi. And I love the inspiration and the genius behind it. And in fact, we have in just a few weeks, we have Niso that's going to be on the show.
That's right.
And we want to hear from you. You're going to hear more information about this, but we want to hear your questions.
That's right. You know, you're always welcome to reach out to us on social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and let us know maybe if you have any questions about some of these watches or what's coming up with our brands, or if you want to get inside the minds of some of our designers here. It's very murky inside, but, you know, wade yourself through all of that. We always encourage you to reach out to us on social media. Facebook and Twitter are two of the best ways, and ask questions, because when Niso Barokas is here, I know he would love to hear from his viewers. He was talking about how know, he does handle the Lucian Picard website, lucianpicard.com. And people, you were talking about a Lucian Picard watch that you have from back in the day. People email him at
and they want history. Tell us about it.
People email him at info@lucianpicard.com, and he said that people email and say, I have a Lucian Picard watch from the 1950s, from the 1960s. Can you tell me more about this? I just think that is so cool that this brand that has been around for over 90 years, we're a part of that, and a lot of you probably do have some of the originals. And now,
1923.
It's interesting to think like what you probably think or what you do think about some of the new collections coming out.
I love that we're creating modern classics. And I'm sure that those watch designers back in the day, they knew that they were creating something that was going to transcend time. And I think we're doing that now. We're creating designs that 100 years from now are going to be equally as beautiful. Now, as we draw in even closer on this watch, I want you to realize that this is truly elegance personified. Now, we do have another design that has kind of this hourglass shape on it, but it does not have the bridges across, and it does not have the rotating discs. This is so unique. Now, if you want to pay $500, $600, $700, even $1,000 in the retail world for a watch of this style, well, I would encourage you not to, unless you just won the lotto and you really need to get rid of that cash.
Money, huh?
Yeah, then we got some watches for you. The WOW price of $126 is still a bargain. That's actually incorrect, because the WOW price of $126, we have not marked it up to $194.99. That would be kind of inappropriate, wouldn't it? Sorry about the misprint on there. I grabbed this watch at the last minute, and they had to create the graphic for it, so they'll get that corrected for you in just a second. But one of the things that you're really going to appreciate is the value that for under $195, you are getting so much style. You are getting so much design. And this has never been shown on the show before. This is the very first time you're seeing it. So you don't have to worry about rushing out there. And even amongst the watch collectors, you're not going to find folks with this watch yet. We are very, very, very much right in the very first of introducing it to the world. $32.50. That's all it takes to get it home. There are 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. Look at that rotation of that disc. That just is captivating, because it's not what you usually see. And I love that. And as a side note, some folks have probably figured this out. We are broadcasting live right now.
That's right, we are.
But because and I've sent emails, some folks have caught us. I've sent emails because folks have said, hey, I've seen a show where you pre-recorded. There are occasions where we may have had to pre-record the show because of our move to the new studio. But just for all of you to realize that very, very soon, every show, every episode live, and we'll be back, giving you the live Twitter feeds and all the other good stuff so that you can chat with Megan. That's basically it, to chat with Megan. We know how this goes.
I know, and I do appreciate that so much. You make me look very good, apparently.
I do not. That was God, my dear. He did a fantastic job.
Let's stick with Lucian Picards, though.
Would you like to stick with Lucian Picard?
I would.
Something new?
Something new. And I love this name, Casablanca. It's so romantic.
It means the White House.
Ah.
Casablanca.
Right.
Am I right?
I was thinking of Scarlett O'Hara.
Well, no, that would actually be Tara. You were thinking of Humphrey Bogart
in
Casablanca.
I don't know what I'm thinking of,
It's
yes.
okay. I'm with you. The audience, not so much.
I've lost the audience. 287-705. 2 options of the 36mm Casablanca. Our lovely assistant, I want to think of another way to call her. I call her the best girl grip on our crew here. Jenny, she's the one that makes sure all of the watches look perfect when we air them on the shows live. So if there's ever a smudge, just know it's not me. It's probably Jenny's fault. She held these watches up earlier. She gets to see, she has seen, I wonder how many watches she's seen overall. You got to think, it's always very exciting when people hear, even beyond Wiley and I, when our director, how many watches he sees in a day, Jenny, how many watches she sees, when they find one that stands out to them. These really stood out to her, and I think they will to you as well, especially if you're looking for something that's more than just the standard timepiece. We're going to come in closer. Look at this dial, first of all. The center portion. Notice when the light hits it, you see that black center chapter there? See how it looks like there's something going on, but you're not quite sure what? That's mother of pearl. If we come in a little closer, you'll notice that surrounding that, you've got crystals, genuine Austrian crystals set to look like diamonds. And I love the way your 60-second subdial, that's your continuous running seconds. Notice how those are broken out at the 6 o'clock position. See how those are totally encrusted with crystals as well. You've got a single crystal at the 12 o'clock position set to look like a diamond. I mean, is this not stunning? I like this because sometimes, and we're going to show you watches today, you get a lot of crystals on a watch, and it can be a bit too flashy. It can be at times a bit too costumey. Here, the crystals are done in such an elegant way around the mother of pearl. They look like genuine diamonds. And of course, Austrian crystals being of the highest quality, that's what they really do look like. Now your 36 millimeter case, great classic size. You can see it's not too big, it's not too small. Superstar though is the bracelet. You've got this open link bracelet. They're almost like little semicircles all the way around. And what a generous bracelet it is, am I right? It's a very generous bracelet. Ladies, you will be able to get into this whether you've got under a 6-inch wrist or you've got nearly a 9-inch wrist. To me, even if you didn't see the dial in the case here and you just saw the side of it, looks like a gorgeous bracelet. I love that because going back to, I'm showing a watch that I'm wearing, going back to that classic everyday silver tone watch, if you're not the kind of gal that wants something so straightforward and perhaps a bit more conservative, if you want that classic with a twist, and I would definitely describe our girlfriend Jenny here as classic with a twist, this is a great bracelet for that.
She is our mariposa de tiempo.
Ooh.
She is our butterfly of time.
Ah, she's always changing?
Did you like that?
Or is that because she sleeps in a cocoon? This is one of those timepieces, though, because it just has a little bit something extra to it, but yet, as we transition, you'll see, it's not so conservative to where it feels like something dated. I'm going to transition from the silver tone to the all white. And notice how generous the bracelet is. I don't even need to open a part, and I'll show you. It's a pry apart clasp there. That's how generous the bracelet is. Now, if you want even more elegance, if you want something with color, maybe you love rose gold. My girlfriend, her husband, for their 1-year anniversary, bought her as an addition to her wedding and engagement ring. She has a slim, single rose gold band now.
Oh.
And it's so elegant, and it looks so beautiful. She loves rose gold. So her, with a watch like this, it just adds a nice elegance. And rose tone, of course, all rose tone, all mirror polished. So everything you're seeing here, this isn't painted on a rose-colored paint.
I have a question for you.
Yes?
As you're wearing this watch, and I don't know, this is a girl question.
I have no idea what he's going to ask.
I
by
know,
the way.
because there's no teleprompter. We're just making this stuff up.
Our director has his hand on the mute button. He's
Like,
ready
ready?
to go.
Some ladies' watches in the bracelet style can be worn almost like a bangle, very loose. And since this is generous, is this one that needs to be cinched down?
No.
Or could you wear it like a loose bangle
You
type
could,
of bracelet?
you know, it all depends because you're able to very easily remove these links that are really like semicircles, and you'll see a closer shot of them. I like my watches, I know we've talked about this. You like your watches a little bit loose.
I do. I like to have a little
I
movement.
like mine super tight. So I just like it. I don't want it to slide around the wrist.
Oh, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, see, not for me. Having it a little loose. What's
I
nice,
need a little movement. A little movement right
not me.
here.
I want to be locked and loaded. What's nice about this, I am. It's kind of crazy. What's nice about this is because the links are a bit smaller, they're almost like half links. So if you are in between sizes and maybe you have it a little bit loose, maybe you don't want it so tight on the wrist, it's not going to be smashing around. It's not going to be falling all over the place. You're very easily able to omit just one. And if it's just a slight bit loose, because it wears like a piece of jewelry, like a bangle style bracelet, you'll be very comfortable in it. One more look. Notice how slim it is too. I love that. I hate, and I know that now it's fall and we go into winter, you got to wear a lot of jackets and long sleeve shirts, or so they tell me when you don't live in Florida. That's what you guys do.
What planet are you
I know,
from?
Right. I'm like, oh, I'm busting out the sweaters. It's 75 degrees out. I hate when you have a jacket or something on and then your watch case is so tall that it sticks up over the blouse or the jacket you're wearing.
Oh, gotcha.
I just don't like that. Here, slimline design. 287-706, $100 Brand new Casablanca. $25 gets it home. Don't break the bank for the holidays. If you want to pay it all off at once, it's $99.99. However, if you want to do the payments, that's interest-free until midnight tonight. 287-706.
Megan, we have two styles coming up. Do you have one that you like here? I'm just going to what do you think?
The one that we're airing second.
The one that we're airing, so you like this one?
I do.
All right, we'll keep that one right there. I want you to notice, just by picking this watch up, some watches will lay completely flat, but notice that automatically starts to take the shape of a wrist. And as you see it right there, the lugs bend down, and even the solid end links. Yeah, this is all leather, but they've embedded metal within the end links. You notice this is not just cut and trimmed to the case. This wonderful Ben & Sons, which is a 44mm Voyager, which you saw in the preview, has just a natural shape that when you put it on, you're going to go, oh, that's the old comfortable pair of shoes. That's the lazy boy recliner I can't get rid of because it's just too comfortable. I want you to take a peek and realize that this, with the silver tone dial, is hearkening back to a very classic image. It's a field style, military. There's a slight bit of aviation look to it. It's one of those watches that looks like it came out of the 1940s, or maybe, 1940s is about right on this, maybe early 50s. But it's in a modern size. Now, this would probably be a 38mm if it was, or even 34, 36, if it went back to the 40s. Notice with the 44mm, you take on a size that is very modern and contemporary. Now, it's a three-hand configuration. You have the hour, the minute, and a continuously operating sweep hand. By hitting the pusher at the 2 o'clock, I start the sub-dial, which is part of our chronograph. Hitting it again is going to do the reset, and you can see it snap back into place. You even have a date complication between the 4 and 5 o'clock position. Now, I like both of these watches. In fact, I want to show both of them to you. But look at this. Even though it's a mineral crystal that's on here, I want you to realize they've given it the look of Hesselite, which is a form of plastic that they used back when watches were really showing off their little bit larger size, if you can consider 36mm a larger size watch. Take a look at the back right there. There's, of course, the Ben & Sons logo and lots of fingerprints, which I'm sure we'll include with each purchase. Take a peek. Oh, you know what? I made a huge mistake. That's actually a Sapphitech crystal on here at this price point.
Yeah, this is one of our own brands.
But you know, I just...
Sometimes we have minerals. It can be tricky.
When we're using these reliable Japanese movements, sometimes to keep the cost down, we will use a hardened mineral crystal. It also makes it a little lighter, but we've actually used Sapphitech. That means this is as scratch resistant as sapphire. Where's our little scratchy tools at? I need to see if I can damage this.
Oh, I love live TV. Let's see what happens.
There's a greater chance that I will slip and actually scratch the 316L stainless steel, which is easily polished out. But you're going to have a very difficult time scratching. And this is, I'm holding a titanium pointer, and I'm applying some serious pressure on this watch, and it's not getting any traction. I mean, it is sliding like the whole thing just has Vaseline on it. I mean, it feels slick. If you had done that across a mineral crystal, you would feel it begin to make contact with the crystal, and literally it would just scrape through there. If you apply it hard enough, you're going to scratch it. The VD53, a Japanese movement in here with date, is such a good movement. Now, take a look. I know you like this one, but Megan is going to put on... You want me to put it on?
Yeah, go ahead. You try it.
I want you to see this because...
I like this one. I like the black dial and the brown strap. I know I'm a broken record with that lately, but I like this for gentlemen. I guess because when I living with a man, seeing him get dressed nicely every day for the office.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we really get along so well. Me, him, and my actual boyfriend, it's like Three's Company.
Three's Company, but in reverse.
But it's funny because I think it's kind of cute to see that a man would be like, brown shoes or the black shoes. And here, this is a great staple watch. I think you can wear it with black because of the black dial, but the brown leather strap, it's the brown shoes watch.
This has a lot of versatility to it. I love the fact that there is such a custom look of that strap meeting up to the case. And again, what you're seeing is not just leather that has been cut or trimmed and eventually it's going to fray and peel back. There is metal. You can see just a touch of it right there with that little bit of just a little touch of a raise right there. This is heavily padded. But under there is metal that allows this to link up flawlessly. It's very unusual at this price point to see this fit and finish. You'll notice that there is still the ability to cinch this down even tighter, and look at the generous amount of strap that is on this watch. I like both styles, and I think, Megan, let me take a peek. You know, I like both of them. Now, the number you're seeing is for the one on my wrist. You like, okay.
I like that.
But this is really nice. Rudy, what do you think? Oh, Jenny?
Our director knows not to disagree.
Yeah, they
with
do
me.
not go up against Megan. She's concealed carry. This is really a super watch. And at the price point, you're going to find the versatility. You can get both watches. Maybe you have two folks in your life that these would make great gifts. You can get one of each and let them duke it out over which one they take. At this price point of only $23.75, and what's great about that, we're going to pay for shipping. You don't have to hunt for a coupon. And if you do get it home and you go, oh, that's not what they said. Well, number one, it will be. But if you find that you don't like it, for any reason, you can send it back. By the way, I'm going to let folks know something. Do you ever get asked this question? What kind of commission do you get on all the watches you sell?
No, we're just happy to be here.
We don't. It's not like, let's really push the watches because we make more.
No, we want you guys to pick whatever you want. That's why we have 3 hours a day of so many different watch choices.
That's right. And integrity is so important in this world because there's nothing more personal than a watch. It's one of those items you wear every day. You might have shoes that you can switch out. A watch you're going to wear every day, and if it's one that you really love, because not everybody's a collector. They may just have that one watch. Well, we want you to love it as much as we love them, and I think you're going to find this is just the right fit. 287662 is going to get you this version of the hello, I have speech impediment. Let's not bring that up. Yeah, go ahead and order it.
I love that we're like trying to be serious, these classic watches, talking about professionals out there, and it's just so hard for us to be.
We're having too much fun. We really are, and it's not just the vodka. I really believe that there's a lot that just makes the program a whole lot of fun.
So, we've been speaking before about mechanical timepieces.
This really is, isn't it?
And how expensive they can be. Because yesterday, we had a mechanical in our second hour, a Swiss-made mechanical, that was $19,000.
And it was worth every penny.
My God,
I've never seen the innards of a watch that was as beautiful as that.
But mechanicals are incredibly expensive. I mean, a list price here, $750. Now we're talking about what you pay for that.
That's exactly right. If you were to walk into that retail store and they brought out that Maurice Lacroix at $19,000 and you went, oh, no. And then they showed you this watch for $750. Well, okay, I might be able to swing that. And then they offer you their payment plan at 23% interest, or a layaway plan, and as soon as you get that last bit of money in, you can come pick up the watch. Nuh-uh. Both Megan and I have been completely ruined for so many reasons, but one of them is that once you see behind the curtain, you know you will never, ever, ever want to pay retail for watches. With a lot of the companies, it sounds so bad, there's a lot of markup. And part of what our goal here as manufacturers, as designers, and as great purchasers around the world of some of the best brands, we want to eliminate all the inflation that makes it prohibitive from you getting the best watch. Now, I believe that every watch collector should have at least one mechanical in their collection. It's just something about it that really is a throwback to old school watchmaking. This expanded open heart configuration in that unusual kind of geometric multiple circle shape allow you to see through the watch. Notice in the outer chapter ring that even though it's slightly skeletonized, you can still see where each second on the watch is. Now, as they draw in even closer, you'll see the satin finish in the center part of the dial. You'll see the texturing in the outer part, three-hand configuration, and here's the part you're going to love. I'm going to flip it over. You ready? There is the beautiful Chinese 8N25 mechanical movement. It's Chinese? I mean, what do they make? iPhones?
Probably your underwear.
Probably.
You know what, though? And this is something that's important. I know we've talked about this on the shows before. It's not like if your watch isn't Swiss-made or Swiss-made movement, it's of sub-quality. Our company
like Seagull?
Here, yeah. I mean, think about these factories that are making watch movements in China are some of the highest quality, best factories in the world. So don't think for a minute, oh, it's a Chinese movement.
You know, we have that great video of the Swiss factory. I would love to see the video of, I mean, some of these factories, factory is the wrong word, they're really like workshops and laboratories. They're ultra clean because you cannot in a dirty environment. Oh my goodness,
yeah,
no.
Nothing can get near these movements.
I would love for us to be able to show you know, really the accuracy that has to go into the making. I mean, it's accurate down to the second. And you're able to get this beautiful movement at a fraction of what you would normally pay. And look how that looks on the wrist.
It's nice. It's a full size. It wears like a 45 millimeter on the wrist. I also like, again, you've got a slight bit of that step down bezel design, so a little bit more of that visual interest, as you call it. You know what, though? It's very, very interesting when you've got a mechanical. An automatic for sure, but really a mechanical because it is operating solely on you powering up the movement inside.
There is an interaction that is no longer passive. If you have an automatic watch, it's passive, just the motion of your body. If you have a solar watch or some of the other kinetics, it's passive. There is a connection when you wake up in the morning and you pick up that watch and you know that it's going to give you everything you need for that day and probably the next day as well. And you wind that watch up, you put it on, and you realize you're doing what folks did 100 years ago, 200 years ago. And it really is beautiful. Now, do you like this? I think this goes really well with my shirt. But
Love the classic look.
You know, there's a little bit of bling. Megan cannot help but just to go for the rose gold.
That's right. So we do have a little bit of bling on this one. It's going to look dressier because of the rose tone. I like, well, I'll show you a close-up shot of it so you can see right into the movement because your dial is still that brushed silver tone, which is really beautiful. But now, look how it's completely skeletonized all the way through. And there's that beating heart. So now you can see, again, all the way through the watch. I love when you see silver tone and rose. You guys know I'm crazy about two-tone. And I think that silver tone, while yellow, gold, and silver tone is traditional and I think incredibly versatile, there's something nice about the warmth that rose gold adds to that, what can be considered sort of cold silver tone.
Megan, as you begin to show that mechanical movement, I know it's wound by the crown, but how do I know when to stop? Because I'm winding it and, you know, it's starting to catch or it seizes up. Do I just keep going until that?
Absolutely not. You know, you can sit there and wind your automatic timepiece all day if you'd like. Nothing is going to happen to it. Unfortunately, you can overwind.
Now, an automatic has a rotor in the back.
That's right. So
you'll notice that has that little movie thing. This does not have a moving part that rotates back and forth. It is entirely directly connected to this crown that she will wind the mainspring. And when you get to resistance,
you'll feel it. You know, what's funny is I remember the first time we had a mechanical watch on the show a few years ago, and I'd never really played around with one before. And I was nervous, and I thought, oh my God, if I overwind this on the show, I'm going to break it. You can tell. You'll actually feel almost a little kickback from the crown, and you'll know. It's not like, oh God, well, will I know if it's telling me not to overwind it? You'll be able to feel it. The second you feel like you have to force the crown, stop. It is fully wound.
And you'll know at some point too, if you own a mechanical watch long enough, you'll know, is it 20 winds, is it 25 winds?
Yeah.
And you almost inside your head go 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you get to 18 or 19, you go, that's when to stop. You know, but don't worry about it. You and that mechanical watch will be old friends.
287-738, $150 for a mechanical timepiece. Even better, 5 stress-free payments. That's $1 a day.
Which one do you like best?
Easy. I love the rose tone, but I like the black and silver because it's more versatile, I think.
It goes with what I'm wearing.
Yeah, it does.
Well, we love that watch too, $149.99. That's all it takes, or you can put it on the stress-free payments. Ooh, Bulova. This watch right here has stood out. Now, in the last few years, green has been the magic color in the watch world. But here, we're seeing Bulova try to jump out with a bold splash of red. Bulova has been building watches since 1875. And here, with their Marine Star collection, Bulova is so known for their luxury watches, for their classic styles. Here, they've taken a very sporty feel, and they've just run with it. At a distance, are you going to know? I mean, Megan, if you just saw that, I mean, I realize you're very familiar with watches. If you saw that pass by, are you going to go, oh, Bulova?
No, not at all.
It does have a bit of a Rolex look to it, But of course, it's their own style and design. Using that strong flash of red through the bezel and the dial, and then the pops of gold. That's what does it for me. I've seen a lot of watches with the red, but the pop of gold just really takes it up. It makes it so that if you want to run this down to the office, that stripe of gold running through the center link, it's really nice. And it's not just a pretend watch, because you have a unirotating bezel as well as 100 meters of water resistance. Now, we've only shown this a couple of times before, and I love when we're able to show this watch. To me, there's just something about it that really has a look that it's much more expensive than it is.
I think it's the subtle pops of the gold tone. It makes it almost look like solid gold. If it was an all gold tone watch with the red dial and bezel, it might be a bit too much, it might be too flashy. It would definitely look like a plated watch. But being that you've got just the little screws, just the crown and pushers, the threading through the bracelet, looks like solid gold on silver tone.
If you want to see the gold, let me reflect it off the table, and there it is. Look at all the gold that you're going to see when it's face-to-face to you. Now there, I love it, the 12 o'clock position, they've used the Accutron Bulova logo. It's also there on the crown. You're going to be able to see the screw down back that's going to help to add to the water resistance. You have a diver's clasp, which is going to make sure this watch stays on your wrist. Dual push button, single scissor deploy it. That makes it easy to put off and on, and then when that locks into place, don't worry, the watch isn't going anywhere. But it is going on my wrist, so let me slip this on, and you can tell me what you think. Oh, it also has, come back just for a second. I'm so sorry, Rudy. I realized, if you truly, this is showing you the real aspirations of the watch. There's where you open it, but if you pop this right here, look, it has a wetsuit clasp, which simply means if you're going to wear this with a wetsuit, you don't have to resize the watch. All you have to do is pop it open right there. This is also great if you happen to run or exercise and you want to use the Marine Star while you're out really increasing your blood pressure, because my hands and my arms will swell a little bit when I'm out exercising, and this is a great way to add a little bit of length to the bracelet without resizing. You may also want to share this with a friend who has a slightly larger wrist, and how easy is it just to change that size. That's kind of nice.
That looks nice on your wrist, too.
Well, my son and I, we share watches. Because, he has permission to go into the watch vault.
That's so nice. My dad is not like that at all with his watches.
Well,
I'm not even allowed to go near the watch box.
Is it a World of Watches watch box?
No, would you believe that
What?
it's not? I know, we sold out. I made the mistake.
I'm calling David right now.
I made the mistake like all of our other viewers who waited to get the 10-slot watch box.
So we've sat here for weeks and weeks and weeks, and we said, they're going to sell out, you better buy the watch boxes, and you didn't buy one.
I'm a hypocrite.
I've just had a voice in my head tell me that we might.
I don't think we should be speaking about all the things that the voice in your head tells you.
Sometimes.
As exciting as that can be.
I love you, Megan Harris. 42mm Marine Star. The chronograph really does pop. And you can see the gold right there once again. $425, that's a little high. $318 is still a little high. It's probably a $200 watch. That's where the feel, everything says $200 watch. But it's $119.99. I believe that you're getting it at half off. That's the Wiley Low kind of assessment here. Megan, just feel this for a second. Don't you say that that's kind of in that, maybe it's a little bit more than 200. Feel that watch. What do you think?
Yeah. Bulova always does such a nice job. These are not normal price.
Beautiful bracelets.
You see Bulova in the department stores, in the watch stores. They are $300, $400, $500 watches.
Do you think that's worth more than 200? You say 250 maybe?
Yeah, maybe 250. We're jaded. We're jaded.
I realize
because we see so many different. Like going to this next watch right here, Michael Kors, of course, another brand, can be very expensive.
That's always full price in the store. That's a $225 watch. There it is, $225.
And it's funny. Yesterday we had quite a few Michael Kors Parker watches on the show. If you ever miss a show, you can check out WorldofWatches.tv. The entire lineup is posted. I was actually just looking at it before the show.
And it's on YouTube as well.
We're on YouTube. We're on WorldofWatches.tv. But the lineup is what I'm talking about, and that's where we are right now. You can see the yesterday's variations of the 39 millimeter Parker. Maybe we'll be able to mention a few of those. This is, to me, the Goldilocks size. I usually call Goldilocks size, you know, not too big, not too small, about 35 to 38 millimeters. For my personal style, I'm even wearing a 39 on the other wrist. 39 millimeters, perfect size. And the reason for that, I feel, is because it's bigger, it's got a nice presentation, but it doesn't seem too big and bulky to where it feels cartoonish. Now this is called, as I learned yesterday, you always learn something new, a carriage style case. And then these are the T-bar style lugs. And what's nice about the T-bar style lugs, notice how it allows the strap to immediately begin to curve to the wrist. And because it's a vintage-inspired design, they're not using Croco embossing or any sort of pattern on the strap. It is a smooth, genuine leather. Has a gorgeous feel to it, too. Much like Michael Kors wallets and handbags with that nice, rich leather. That's what you get on the strap. Looking into the dial and the bezel, though, my goodness, this is a lot of bling. So here, we were airing watches earlier. Here we were talking earlier about a watch that had a little bit of crystals, those Lucian Picard Casablancas. If you want to up the ante, you've got Austrian crystals set to look like diamonds for your hour markers, and then 2 rings of them set in that gold-plated bezel. The color combination here of that mirror-polished gold tone and that rich, smooth, almost cognac brown leather strap is so elegant. So nice. There's something about this, as with all of Michael Kors' designs, that has that all-American feel to it. And how amazing would this be to get, gentlemen, if you know your wife loves Michael Kors? Maybe she's got the handbag or the wallet or the belt. A lot of ladies have Michael Kors watches, so this could be another safe option to add to her collection. It's also very youthful. It's age appropriate, so a lot of ladies can love something like this. And while you might think $225, I'm not spending that. Can you spend $30 today, $30 next month, for a total of 5 interest-free monthly payments at $30? $150. Look at how much money we've taken off the total price. You're saving $75 on the show alone, and you don't even have to get off your couch to go to the mall. I love that. 1-877-720 the Parker. And again, check out WorldofWatches.tv for yesterday's lineup, where we had a couple variations, some on bracelets, some on leather. Lots and lots to choose from. Again, 1-877-720. Moving on to something that is certainly a conversation piece, not for you wallflowers out there.
It's a big, bold watch. It's one of the first watches I encountered here at Swiss Watch International's World of Watches.
I think about this as one of the watches. This one and tungsten are the two that remind me the most of like our first few shows together.
And I remember having to try to say the tongue twister of beveled bezel.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of those design elements that really just stands out. This is a beautiful watch. I love this in the gold. It is the right shade. It is the right tone. And when you look at it straight on. We're going to just take a live shot. It really looks round. The watch looks round. And you don't realize the beveling that has gone on until you rotate it and then you see it. And it takes on a completely different shape. It's such an unusual watch. And the unusual design element is that often watch designers love to use, well, a crown protector. But they've created this arch right here of using protectors over the pushers. And that creates the arch for the crown. Now, that really hadn't been seen a whole lot. Now, they've used paddle-style pushers to protect the piston itself. Here, they've used these locked-in protectors, and I love that. Screw-down crown. It's a large, oversized crown that you can easily get your fingers on. But look into that dial. Now, you have a 3-hand configuration. The hour, the minute, and a continuously operating sweep hand is a small seconds right here. But this is a multifunction. Notice you have the date and day complication as well as totalers for your chronograph. Now, Megan pointed this out, which is just a stroke of observation genius.
Mm-hmm. It was very genius.
Notice there's Code de Geneve, which normally you would see on the back of the watch, and this is almost an homage to a rotor right here in that design element. So it's kind of like they're giving you things that are very reminiscent of timekeeping, and you're not sure why the design is unusual yet familiar. And part of it is they've just pulled for some classic looks from the watch world. I want you to see how thick that case is. I mean, just gorgeous. You do have a dual push button. Notice it's a bracelet style where it's almost jewelry quality. Pushing that, you're going to be able to see right how easily that opens. Sapphitech crystal, 316L stainless steel. Megan, what have you liked best about these watches that really have held their design?
My favorite feature is that the dial itself does look like you were looking through the exhibition case back into an automatic movement. And I also like that because of these prices, because of these styles, you're able to try out different designs and different fashions. And especially for gentlemen who maybe don't get to experiment with their style and their fashion as much as women do, of course. It's nice to be able to play around and find something that is going to be that conversation piece. Because women know, ladies, what do we notice in a man? Watches, shoes, other than like, you know, the personality and what they look like. I'm being real superficial here. I'm talking about accessories, right? Watches and shoes. Because people know accessories are the details that show money, style, class. Because anybody these days, you can buy shirts at, you know, Forever 21 and Zara's and H&M, which are very affordable. But it's a giveaway if a watch or a pair of shoes are of lesser quality. So here, you get that high quality, but you pay those super low prices.
Well, that's right, because just because we price it, it's not, if we gave the watch away, does that mean it has no value? Absolutely not. Its value is intrinsic based on manufacturing, what's inside, and so forth. So if we sell the watch for $100 and it's actually a $500, $600, $700 watch, it's still the $500, $600, $700 watch. We've just cut everybody else out that would make you have to pay that in the retail world. If you don't believe me, hunt down the watches online. Go to retail. When we present a Breitling and we tell you it's a $10,000 Breitling and then we're selling it for $5,000, there's nothing wrong with it. It's brand new in the box. Go ahead and go to Breitling, take a look, ask for the watch. They'll tell you it's $10,000. When we sell it, it's $5,000. When we're telling you that we can sell this watch for $109, it's going to be back up at $250, and somebody around the world, because we're one of the #1 seller of watches on the planet, they're going to buy it for that, and they're going to be glad because they didn't pay the $795. It's not a $100 watch. It's what we're selling it to you for, and I'm glad that we have these kind of prices.
All right. I know we've got a bunch of options coming up of the next style, too. I love when we're able to present multiple options of something.
Oh, we do.
So we're going to move on. Got a couple minutes left in this hour. Yeah, we are rapidly ending our under $200 hour. Next hour, you'll see huge savings because next hour is all Swiss made, where you'll be savings in the thousands.
We are delighted that we can offer watches to you that may have been off of your radar just because it's too expensive. I can't do it. And then suddenly you see an all Swiss-made watch. There's probably a couple I need to order today because, you know, the holidays are right around the corner. We're already in November. I want to get it shipped to me as soon as possible. And there's some great stuff when you see what we've got coming up. One of our Swiss legends will just blow you out of the water. 44 millimeter. I want you to take a look at this watch. Now, which one do you like better here, Megan?
I love the Montia. I like the gold tone with the brown. You know, I always like that the richness of rose and brown. But again, I know that it's safer and therefore perhaps a better buy for the holidays to do the brown and silver tone.
Well, the silver's classic. I mean, the watches have just been using that stainless steel case for generations, and now you're seeing it just exemplified here in the Montia. This chronograph, and yes, it is a chronograph, really does look great. As we come in even closer, I want you to take a look at that dial and just see it's not quite like anything else you've seen out there. Now, maybe you have a watch with a black dial, a white dial, and maybe even that red or green. If you do not have one that's in brown, by the way, it's one of my watches that everybody wants to borrow.
Oh, really?
It's a Lucian Picard, and that's the old school one. And it's probably one of the first times that I'd seen one on a silicone strap. That goes way back.
Wow.
And it was kind of nouveau back then to be able to have that silicone strap on there. But it was the brown dial that got everybody's attention. Take a look at this. That is just gorgeous. Now, hitting the pusher is going to give us a start for our chronograph. Notice that the subdial at the 12 o'clock goes into motion. There is our stop, and there is our reset. You also have a date complication at the 3 o'clock position. It is easy to read the time on this watch, and only when it catches the reflection just right do you see the high mirror polish that's all throughout that dial. Sometimes the studio lights can make that look a little muted, but you really can see the bright work all the way around. There's even the high mirror polish on the back. That gives you a lot of information right there. Sapphitech crystal, 316L stainless steel. You happen to have 50 meters of water resistance. And of course, you have that reliable Japanese movement that's going to keep a level of accuracy down to 10 to 15 seconds per month. And that is really setting a standard. Ready for this? Under $200, it's $59.99. Let me slip the other one on my wrist so that you can see how this 44 millimeter watch wears. Now, do you think the gold is a bit dressier than the silver?
Absolutely. Because rose gold, of course, in the world, in jewelry stores, is even more expensive than white and yellow gold. So I like that it has that classic look. And we've seen this with some of the Bulova timepieces, some of the Accutron by Bulovas that we had one yesterday. There's something about the richness of rose tone and brown.
Is that correct that we are selling the gold tone that has the gold plating for the same price as the non-plated?
Yeah, no upcharge. Don't you love that?
How do we do that? Because, I mean, it is gold plating. What you're seeing that's gold is microns deep throughout that case so that it is layered in gold. Mm-hmm. And I know that you've had someone in your world that said, I'm not sure if I'd want a gold watch unless it was solid gold because I don't want it flaking and peeling.
Oh my gosh, that does not happen anymore. And even though at $60 you might expect that to happen, let's see. This is a watch here. Let's move this one around. If we can come in a little closer. You know, these being our TV samples, they get banged up. They get scratched up every now and then. And what happens is we do multiple passes over these timepieces. So where if you were to actually get this watch scratched, you maybe ding it on something, it scratches to more rose tone. This is not paint. This is actual solid gold that is laid over stainless steel. So cutting it in half, for example, reveals the stainless steel inside. It's not like a gold bar. What it is what you see here, what touches your skin, is solid gold. So it's not going to turn your wrist green. It's not going to flake off. Nothing like that. It is solid gold over steel.
It goes microns down. It is not just this, air layer. It is, there's a layer of thickness to it that's going to give you the durability, and you want that. Because, I mean, if you want solid gold, you go ahead and check out our website. We have some gorgeous pieces, particularly like the small seconds and the GMT from Maurice Lacroix. Those are beautiful and incredibly affordable, particularly when we have those payments on there. But if you want the look without having to dig deep in the pocket, $59.99. It is gold touching your skin, and you got to love that. And it certainly has the look because that's what the eye is seeing. And of course, the weight's going to be a little lighter because it's all 316L stainless steel underneath, but it's also non-fatiguing. Some of the heavier gold stuff like tungsten.
Tiring. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, because, when you're wearing some of the heavier watches. Nice, lightweight, particularly with the leather strap. $59.99. We want that to come home to you. Whether silver or gold, we promise you'll be happy.
All right, well, we are moving into our middle hour, all about Swiss-made watches. This is an hour where you won't just save thousands. You won't just save hundreds. I messed that whole thing up.
Take two. They'll do it in editing.
This is an hour where you won't just save hundreds of dollars. You will save thousands of dollars. Every single item coming up in the next 60 minutes is going to be Swiss-made. So this is that creme de la creme, the upper echelon of watch buying and watch collecting. But you're never going to feel that crazy price. We're going to jump into a preview and then come back for a special surprise.
We should show our commercial.
Don't give it away.
Are you going to? Oh, good. That makes me happy.
So this hour, starting our Swiss-made hour, is kicking it off with the Bulova Accutron. Here, another one of those watches, black and brown. Black textured dial, rose tone case and bezel, and then that brown Croco embossed leather strap. This is a Swiss-made watch with the Weil 7750 automatic chronograph movement. sapphire crystal, modified movement inside to include the day and date complication, $530 for a $1,700 watch, 5 payments of $106. Item number is item number is 226304.
Right behind that, one of the hearts of the watch world happens to be Eterna. Eterna is just one of those brands since 1856 has been building beautiful watches, and this is a slightly different watch. Now, is this the mechanical or is this the automatic? I thought
The Madison?
I
believe the Madison is a mechanical timepiece.
Yeah, that's showing as an automatic. I believe it is a mechanical.
Okay.
And it's one of the ones that we really, really love. If you're going to get, a simple mechanical, then consider that Lucian Picard we showed earlier with that great Chinese movement. If you want all Swiss, then you have to really consider Eterna. And they are the ones that gave us the ETA movement, but this is one of the Eterna movements on the inside that is mechanical. It is beautiful to see. And it's one of the ones that when we show it to you live, you're going to realize why it's a $7,000 watch. But you're going to pay less than $1,400 for it. In fact, if you want to get it home, it's only $280. 289308 will get you the Eterna Madison. Oh, Megan, look at that.
My hot pick, the LX Diamond, a 33mm Swiss-made Movado for $900 off what you can expect to pay in stores. I went right to the wrist with it so you can see. Your dial comprised entirely of genuine mother of pearl. You've got elegant rose tone for your hour markers, but when you come in closer on the hour markers, you'll see that those hour markers are genuine diamonds. And you've actually got 24 of them on your wrist. 24 diamonds. I want you to get a close-up shot of that in a moment. The classic museum dial is what this is a modified version of. You've got the concave dot at the 12 o'clock position, meant to signify the rising sun. I love this timepiece. It's a classic size. It's not too big. It's not too small, though. And it fits the wrist like it was made for me. Sapphire crystal, 3-hand Swiss-made quartz movement inside, $120 down. Do you realize you would never, ever be able to go into the Movado store, see this $1,500 diamond watch, and get it home for your first payment of $120? I say take advantage of the interest-free payment plan. It makes the most sense, especially in this hour. If you came into the show with a budget and said, I'm not going to spend more than $150 today, well, here you can spend $120 and we'll ship the watch to you for free in its original packaging. 280854, $600. After midnight tonight, price goes up to $1,000. You're still saving $500 off retail, but wouldn't you want to spend and save $900 off? 280854.
Now, even though mine is it's not Swiss made,
it's coming up in the next hour when it's everything 6 payments.
Well, yes, so I will just give it a mention. I guess that's, since you chose a Swiss-made watch and you are breaking all the rules, then we're just going to go ahead and give you just a little bit of highlight. Just take a look at the beauty shot just for a moment, both the far away and the close-up. You're seeing that rotating subdial at the 6 o'clock. Instead of using a sweep hand, it causes the entire subdial to sweep, and I love this. The 2 flying bridges across the subdial at the 12 and the 6 really add style to this watch. Of course, it's 45mm Sapphitech crystal. You're going to have the Miyota OS11 movement inside, 30 meters of water resistance, 316L stainless steel. And this watch really, it's a value. It is truly a value at $194.99. And I really love it. So, you're not having to pay the $900 price, $32.50. That's what's going to get the watch home. And I think you're going to really, really love it. 287803 is my pick. Megan, what do you think of this watch?
I love this watch. This is one of the ones that I was talking about because of the color combination. But really more than that, when you get a close-up look at this dial, not just at the movement inside, which is a Valjoux 7750 automatic chronograph, but really the fact that the texturing alone, look at that texturing when the light hits it. See, it looks like a matte black dial, but wait until the light hits it in just a second. Look at that. It's almost like a reptile or snake print. I love that. You know, this is a great way for you gentlemen out there to almost have a jeweling, a decoration on your timepiece without having any real jewels, without having anything ostentatious or overdone. 42 millimeter case with a Valjoux 7750 automatic chronograph movement, one of the world's most venerable and recognized and expensive automatic chronographs from Eta Valjoux. Let me stop and reset that. Come in closer, please. Look at this true guilloche dial. See all that texturing there? That's not a machine. That's done by hand. All of that done by some artist who labored over each and every dial. The flash of blue signifies the anti-reflective coating over your sapphire crystal. You can see at the 3 o'clock position, you've got a day and date complication, so it's more of a modified Valjoux 7750. Turning this around, your push button, dual deployant clasp, reveals, there you go, your automatic chronograph movement in action. You can see the little tuning fork logo on your rotor there, 25 joule automatic movement. There's a weight and a thickness to the case that you can really feel that this is of high quality. I'm going to slip it on my wrist very quickly and then pass it over to Wiley so he can see how it lays on his 6 3/4 inch wrist. But even if you had a 6-inch wrist like I do, look at how it plays. This, to me, is one of the best looking watches you're going to see all day today. I think it is gorgeous. It is elegant. It's back to that color combo I love of black and brown, and then you get rose tone. Please try this on, sir.
What a beautiful watch all the way around. Now, you know what I'm getting ready to say. A Valjoux 7750, the minimum back in the watch world that you would ever think of paying for a watch with that movement in it is $1,000. That's just the way it was. And I know there's a lot of watch collectors out there that would back me up on that. It is the workhorse. It is the power movement that people look for. It is as dependable and as respected as any watch movement is going to be. And here you have that in this. And look at the style. Because just as you were talking about, it looks like an all black, almost onyx type of dial until the light hits it and you see all of that hand decorating that's done on there. And it's really gorgeous. $529 for a $1,700 watch is phenomenal. You'll notice you not only have all of the configurations for your chronograph, but you also have a day and date. This is a beautiful watch in just the right size at 42 millimeters. I can't believe this has the Valjoux 7750 modified in here. And it can all be yours. It's only $106. That's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments for an all Swiss-made Bulova Accutron. And I promise you, no one has bought it for less than you. In fact, we'll give you a 30-day money-back guarantee, and we'll pay for shipping. Now, if you're going to go, this is a go big or go home moment. Because this is one of the watches, the Vaughn really stands out. It's one of the watches that if you haven't added one to your collection, and you can maybe possibly do this, then give consideration for this one. It is beautiful, it is elegant, it is classic, and the beauty is not just on the front, which is a very gorgeous dial. You can't really tell just the first shot. You're going to come in, you're going to realize this all Swiss-made watch, this highly curved sapphire crystal. But as you come in even closer, I want you to take a look at the dial itself. Some of the elements of the Vaughn that really stand out is the curvature of the dial. They wanted something with a classic look. You can see it right there. 3-hand configuration, hour, minute, continuously operating sweep hand. A large date complication, dual date wheel, reverse date wheel, black wheel, white lettering. But I want you to notice that no, do not adjust your set. Look at the curvature of that dial. Notice the hands, how they are curving to meet the shape. Even the sweep hand is curved. That's not an optical illusion from the crystal. Everything has that beautiful puffed curvature to it. Then, if we continue the rotation, I want you to take a look at the back of that watch. Isn't that beautiful? It's all Swiss made, 50 meters of water resistance. Of course, you're looking into the beating heart of the watch. And you're getting a genuine alligator strap. The gunmetal dial, which is kind of in that, it's almost black, but it is kind of a blacker gunmetal. I'm not going to argue the point on that one. But it really has such a great look. Notice the Côte de Genève decoration on the rotor. Notice right behind that there's stippling in the inner structure that is holding that all together. And you really have such a beautiful look right here. Megan, what has stood out on this watch for you? I know that certainly the movement is incredible, but when you look at that, you were talking about, you know, when a gentleman has the right watch, what emotion does this evoke? What do you think when you see a watch like this on somebody?
I mean, it's just so classic and it's so elegant that I appreciate that. You know, it's one of those where, because Eterna maybe isn't as well known as Breitling and Rolex and Omega. To me,
they're older.
But seeing a watch like Eterna, it means that they know something about watches. They know about the brand.
Eterna is older than those other brands. You know, you're going to 1881, 1882, 1884 with Breitling, and you've got 1856 with Eterna.
So it's almost like they're not wearing it to make some sort of statement. Not that there's, you know, that you wear a Breitling just so everybody knows you wear a Breitling, but this is, you appreciate watches, you want that quality, it doesn't matter to you if everybody knows the name brand. You have something of the highest quality from one of the most revered watch brands.
You know, a friend of mine was wearing one of the high-end brands, and it was so recognized, it's iconic. In fact, you'd know the brand. And he was mugged for that watch.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he was in a hotel,
terrible.
You know, at a convention. And he said, you know, now that when I buy luxury, I buy the things that maybe not everyone else will know, but I will.
Exactly. That's very smart.
So he always knows that he's wearing these beautiful luxury timepieces, but unless you are, you know, the cat burglar, you're not going to know. The average Joe out there isn't going to go, oh, I only know 3 watches. This is one of those watches that, yeah, you know, this is a $7,500 watch. $7,500. Handmade, Swiss made. And we're going to mark it down to $4,000 at midnight on Sunday. Well, that's where it's going to go. Right now, $13.99. And speaking of Eterna, if this is not your cup of tea, how about something in this beautiful, almost tonneau or cushion shape there? And it really is beautiful. Now, you'll notice that this, we love our mechanical watches. And when you see the beauty of the watch, not just from the front, but from the back, you realize you are getting the pinnacle of Swiss craftsmanship. There's such a personal relationship between the watch owner and the watch, because this watch becomes dependent on the owner. If you leave it, it stops. There's an automatic, you know, it might have 70 hours of power reserve. This is designed for that person that loves their watch. They're going to wear it, you know, if not every day, every other day. It's just one of those watches, but it's also one of the watches that, because it doesn't have a rotor and everything else, if you do have to leave it, a mechanical watch does not have to be wound every day. You can't put it on a watch winder. It's okay for it to sit. But you do, I'm going to say regularly, want to spend time with a little bit of winding to make sure that everything inside stays well lubricated, because there is just a touch of oil in here. But you're also going to find the jewels that are going to also do part of the lubrication. So as we come back around, go ahead and may flip it over so you can see.
That's beautiful. I love seeing the back of mechanical timepieces, even more so, I think, sometimes than automatics.
This is, I believe, an 18 jewel. And as I just do the rotation right here, I want you to just see the gears just really right there. And you can see the heart really kicking in. It's very happy about me winding it. Now, I only have a certain number of winds before the watch is going to let me know you need to stop. I can start feeling the resistance. It's not quite there. But the more you wind the spring, the more resistance you get, and eventually you're going to run to that point where you can't wind it anymore, or you shouldn't wind it. You could, but it would be the last time you wind it.
Yeah, if you chip a tooth inside the movement on one of those gears, there's a chance that the watch movement might not be able to be repaired.
It would be, oh, there it is. You can feel it. There's a
sort of see
kickback.
it, too.
See, I mean, notice it just kicks back when I let go. That's at maximum wind, and I'm good to go for the next couple of days. Sapphire crystal right there. That square, that rectangular shaped crystal. Of course, you're seeing that same shape here on the front. Let me slip the watch on, and there is just something about the alligator strap that just, you can tell. I mean, it's just luxurious.
This is the Louisiana alligator.
And it is comfortable. It is durable. And particularly with the deployant clasp, that's going to take the pressure off of the strap so that you have years and years and years. Sometimes people are a little hesitant about some of the exotic straps because they're fearful that, well, how long is that going to last? A very long time. Think about, luggage used to be made from alligator.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I did, but I always just assumed it was incredibly expensive.
It was incredibly expensive. Ladies' shoes were made of alligator. You would have handbags and all sorts, because that's how durable it is. Here it is on your wrist. It's not going to take the wear and tear of luggage or shoes. And with the deployant clasp that we're using on here, it's going to take a lot of the stress and pressure. $7,000, that's a lot of money. You could spend $2,000, and that's a bargain.
You're going to spend $2,000 in a couple hours when the price goes up and the payments go away.
But right now, $1,399 or only $280 to get it home. It's a classic timepiece, and we really, just like the watch is going to get noticed, even though it's not flashy in the sense of it's not, bedazzled with jewels, but it's classic. 289308 will get you the Eterna Madison mechanical.
Back to automatics, though. Swiss-made Accutron with a Swiss-made automatic movement inside. This is one of the ones where, when we get a closer shot of it, if you'll just, rotate it a little bit back and forth. It's all silver tone. It's mirror polished and brushed, but there is a jewelry quality to the hour markers. This whole collection, and we do have the Kirkwood available in a number of different styles. We aired a few yesterday on leather straps. When the light hits those hour markers, they sparkle almost like jewels in and of themselves.
They're faceted. There is just something about the mirrored polish and the faceting in them that they catch and reflect light like little mirrors. And it's hard to wear this watch and not get noticed. Sometimes watches will have to use precious metal. They will have to use jewels of some sort, whether it is Austrian crystals, whether it is diamonds. There's something to get your attention. This does it by design. And you are right. Everything about this is elegant. When you pick it up, you go, yep, that's nice. When I brought my son here to the studio and he hung out for a while, it was the first time that we had aired the Kirkwood. It was like, Dad, that's one of the nicest watches I've seen. And he's right. He's picked up a $2,000 watch, and I said, son, we're doing it for $1,000. And of course now it's $599. Now, if you want to wait, we'll do it back at $1,100. But I don't want you to do that. We want you to always get it the best price possible. And I think when you feel the watch, when you see the watch, you realize the quality. There's a weight to it of the solid links, the solid case. And I'm going to hit the dual push button, dual scissor deployant, so that you can see into the back of the watch. Flip that over one more time so you can see in there. Notice the rotor itself has a cutaway, and it's the Accutron logo. I love that.
It's a little tuning fork.
And there it is right there. You can see into the beating heart. And yes, you are indeed seeing all the way through the watch. The exhibition back, the skeletonized front, the sapphire crystal both front and back, absolutely stunning. You only have a 3, 6, and 9 Roman numeral. You happen to have the Accutron symbol or logo at the 12 o'clock. And of course, this is actually a very easy to read skeletonized movement. Notice that the luminescence on the hands really do stand out enough, even in light, so that you can still see easily the 1007 configuration there. I think it's gorgeous. And there's the continuously operating sweep in. And as Megan was talking about, that high mirror polish all the way around. Beautiful on the wrist, and you're going to find that not just a gentleman can wear this classic size of 40 millimeters, that this looks equally as fantastic on a lady's wrist. In fact, I think you did the product video on this.
I did do the product video for this.
If not, then my nails looked great that day.
Yeah, you always look nice when you paint your nails red.
That's due to my daughter. I actually took a nap and I woke up and did not realize she had painted one foot.
That's so funny.
And I was out wearing flip-flops and people are like, nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about that. So I shaved her head. That ruined prom. All right.
Parenting lessons. Look at so much you get in 3 hours here. You save money.
You look just like Britney Spears.
Circa 2007.
Thank you. Remind me to tell you a story later. 226295. What do you think about that, Megan?
I like it. I'm going to try that on.
Oh, you take all the nice stuff.
I'm wearing a watch that's about a 40 millimeter on my wrist right
nice.
now. So it's very, very easy to wear. And it's nice because there's something very jewelry quality about Bulova. We say this about the non-Swiss made Bulovas, that there's something about the construction of the bracelets. Again,
fit and finish.
The faceting of the hour markers on this, I think, is probably the most beautiful feature. But we talk about this on the shows. You can feel with certain timepieces when they're more expensive than others. Just like with leather goods or certain clothing or accessories, jewelry, you obviously can feel when something is more expensive or of higher quality materials. And there is something about an Accutron by Bulova. Look at how well that just wraps around my 6-inch wrist.
Even if you've got it just drops down. It just waterfalls right over your wrist. I mean, look at that. That's like somebody molded it to your wrist.
And that's because the bracelet has solid end links. So it's all curved, and then your high quality bracelet. And look at that. You know, sometimes, and we have them here, you'll see bracelets that appear to be multi-link, but they're actually just machined lines in them. This is a multi-link bracelet all the way around. $600, but it's a $2,000 watch, and it's Swiss made. $120 though, you put that on any major credit card, we ship it to you for free. 226295. Let's do a quick mention of something super sporty. This is the 46 millimeter. Actually, it's the 44 millimeter Deep Dive 1500 series. We aired this watch yesterday in an all blacked out variation. This is a 500 meter water resistant timepiece. Now the actual measured case size is 44 millimeters. Wears like a 46 because you've got the oversized locking crown guard. This features the Swiss-made ETA 2826-2 automatic chronograph movement. Date window at the 3 o'clock position, all tritium. See those little dashes on your hour markers? Those are glass tubes filled with your lume. This is a watch that can go down 500 meters below the water's surface and has an automatic helium escape valve. 5 payments of $180 for a $2,000 Swiss-made Luminox. The item number is 182372, and this is part of the Deep Dive 1500 series. You wanted me to make one of these my hot pick today.
These are so beautiful, so elegant, and I have to tell you right now that when I went to the local jewelry store and I went to find just the prices on their gold watches, this was the size and the style of the watch, but it did not have the diamonds, and it was $5,000. So when you're seeing that $10,000 price point, don't think we're exaggerating that, because this is unbelievable. Megan, take just a moment before you show that and take a look at the quality of the diamonds on there. Oop, other way. Flip that around and then take a look of those diamonds and tell me what you think.
Oh my God.
Now,
I would call these engagement quality almost, like the kind that you would want to wear on a ring, on a bracelet.
Well, what we did is I handed Megan a jeweler's loupe to take a look at the stones, because sometimes if it's a very inexpensive watch, they're going to have to use lesser quality of diamonds. These are incredibly clear. I mean, you're talking about VS quality. You're talking probably about an H in color. They are beautiful because what gives a diamond value is color, cut, clarity, and carat weight. And here you have all of these things combined along with 18 karat gold. Which one do you like best?
It's hard to choose. I do like this first one here with the black dial and the brown alligator strap. And in a moment, we'll get you the item number for this one. I think I might like that one just a touch better. Yes, the list price of $11,000 is correct. And that is because this Swiss-made automatic with the ML132, that's a modified ETA automatic movement, is a solid 18-karat gold timepiece. Look at that right there. You can even see the stamp. 18-karat rose gold. Framing your multi-level black satin dial are those diamonds. Your high-quality VS1 diamonds. I want to go back here again so you can see your movement. Fully decorated. Notice the perlage decoration, the Côte de Genève of the rotor. I mean, it's exquisite. Now, yes, it's still incredibly expensive at $2,200. I would never say invest in a timepiece. That would be ridiculous. You don't invest in something like that. That loses value. But what about gold, a commodity? This is a timepiece that will always be worth more than you spent on it. Here, a rich, dark, almost black, but it is dark brown alligator strap. I'm loving all the black and brown color combos today. The next one, I think I like this one a little bit more, only because it's a gunmetal satin dial. And there's something about seeing the gunmetal with the rose that feels unexpected. The item number for this one is 260240. Swiss-made automatic. Let me give my wrist a few shakes. See, this is how you can power up the movement inside. Now that little seconds hand is beginning to make its way around the dial to keep the time. So with an automatic, you can just put it on, give it a couple good shakes, and you're ready to go. Look at that gunmetal satin dial. You've got diamonds all the way around the bezel. Again, those VS1 high quality. I call them engagement style because, again, the kind that you would want to see on an engagement, you would hope to see on an engagement ring. Solid 18 karat rose gold. Solid 18 karat rose gold buckle for $2,200. Think about that. You may never be able to afford an $11,000 watch. And right now, you might not be able to put down $2,200. But what if you're at the level where you can pay about $400 to $500 a month on your hobby? Or gentlemen, getting this as a gift for your wife, your daughter, your girlfriend, maybe all three. This.
Just took a moment to catch that one. It's like, well, hello, Megan. I can't believe you said that.
$440. Still not cheap, but a Swiss-made solid gold watch. We talk about things like Grail watches. We call those watches that you would aspire to own one day. You would hope to own those Grail timepieces. That's what this is.
I'm telling you that I think this watch right now, if somebody ordered this is one I really love because it's such a classic look. When you talk about that little black dress and that watch, I mean, it looks like $1 million because
might
solid.
As well be.
Yeah, because you're talking about a $10,000 watch. Now, one of the things that's very important, I don't know if we can get close enough on it, we often will present watches that have what's called an illusion setting. And that may be every other stone or every other whatever. It may be a decoration, and it kind of makes it look like it's full of, there it is. Those are all diamonds.
Yeah, the entire thing is encrusted in diamonds. And they're not diamond chips. Look at that. Perfect shot, Rudy. Thank you.
They are fully faceted. I mean, every one of those stones has a table, which is the top of the stone, the facets, the palladian, and it goes all the way down to a point. These are fully faceted stones. They are not just little chips filling in there, and they are gorgeous. I don't want to use the word flawless because that would put it to like a VVI, very, very slightly included, and those are incredibly expensive.
All right,
Amazing.
One last look here. Solid gold, Swiss-made Maurice Lacroix. Yes, you will save nearly $9,000.
Beautiful.
All right, well, let's stick with Swiss-made, but go in a different direction.
Where are you going?
Oh my gosh, we're at the halfway point of our time.
We can't be. Oh, by the way, you know what I did?
Sometimes this goes by so fast, I really have no idea. Because all of our watches are set at 10:10. So if we don't look down at our wrist and see what time it is.
It's always 10:10 in our world.
Yeah, it's always 10:10 here.
By the way, Megan, just because you were playing unfairly earlier, I've switched my top pick
to a Swiss-made watch.
Yeah.
Do you see what I deal with? It doesn't matter. It's still coming up in the third hour.
Not unless I show it like right now and go, I have a hot pick and it's all Swiss made.
Stop that.
Why?
We've made it to the halfway point of our time together. That means we're going to do the top 10. Now, because we are on day 2 of our shows, we might see some items that were bestsellers yesterday that you're still shopping for. That's awesome, because the entire lineup is at WorldofWatches.tv. So I always recommend, obviously, it's great to follow along with the show and get as much information about each watch as you can. But because we do product videos for pretty much every single watch on our website, and we're working to get there one day.
How many do you think you've done?
Oh my God, I mean, hundreds and hundreds. I've been
since I've been here, it's between 500 and 600.
Yeah, so I'm in the thousands then, because I've been doing them for like 3 years.
Oh, easily.
Millions of product videos. So you can always go to worldofwatches.tv and see the entire lineup there, and we break it down by hour. You can filter it by price, and then you can actually click on it, go to that product specific page. So if you don't want to wait for a watch that's coming up in our third hour, or a watch from yesterday that you can't see now, presented live, of course, go to worldofwatches.tv and shop. You get the prices and the stress-free payments until midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight. All right, enough of that. Let's see what the 10 best-selling items are.
Do you know what they are?
I have no idea. You don't know either.
I don't know either. I can sometimes take a peek over in the control room and see something pops up.
I know, our director's like, okay, children. All right, number 10 is... We haven't even aired this yet.
That is a fluted bezel.
Oh, is that what that's
made famous
called?
by Rolex. And that is, but they do not hold the name fluted, so we're allowed to use it.
Ah.
And that is indeed a fluted. Suddenly lawyers are calling us.
Yeah,
don't ever
is that
use
my
the word
phone
fluted.
going off? Here, the 26mm Lexington, 5 payments of $24. This is perhaps the most petite Michael Kors. It's almost funny that this is a baby Michael Kors timepiece at 26mm, but I think that makes it more classic than the traditional boyfriend style that Michael Kors has popularized.
But it also gives you another size option because not everybody wants a large watch.
Absolutely. In fact, most people don't want gigantic oversized timepieces, so at 26mm, very easy to wear and classic. 5 payments of $24. 230604.
And right behind that is going to be the Accutron by Bulova 40mm Kirkwood. Now this is an all Swiss made watch and it is beautiful from the inside out. And you can see the inside from the outside because the skeletonized dial, yet still easy to read. They remind you who makes the watch by giving you the beautiful Accutron logo at the 12 o'clock position with the Roman numerals at 3, 6, and 9. That is proudly emblazoned with all Swiss made right there at the 6 o'clock. But when you flip the watch over, you're going to be able to see even more detail of that beautiful movement, skeletonized both front and back and highly decorated. If you'd like to spend $2,000, go to the retail stores, but we encourage you to get it from us. It's $1,100, but right now during the program, $599.99. That's why it's in the top 10. You know value when you see it. You notice that even on the sweep hand, it has the little Accutron logo at the bottom. Love the detail on this watch. Only $120 to get it home. Congratulations to all of you who have picked it up. And right behind that, only a mention.
I know. Well, this is a 44mm deep dive 1500 series. It's going to wear like a 46mm because of the oversized locking crown guard. 500 meters of water resistance makes this watch a professional dive instrument. You know Luminox, they design watches for the Space Exploration Corporation, for the U.S. Navy SEALs, for our military heroes here and abroad. So this is a diving tool. It's also a Swiss-made watch with an automatic movement inside. It's the ETA 2826. The ETA 2826 is similar to the 2824, except with a larger date window.
You're
Kinda
just
funny.
showing off.
No, but it's true.
It also has a locking crown guard that will make it so that the bezel won't rotate.
Very good. You get a treat. That's number 8.
Thank
Number
you.
7, my favorite of the 244mm Voyagers. I love the black dial and that tan leather strap. Here, it's almost like a solid end link construction, even though it's a leather strap. The leather strap is perfectly integrated into the 44mm stainless steel case, so it's quite easy to wear this, even on my 6-inch wrist. And what's nice is the strap can accommodate up to over a 9-inch wrist. 4 payments of $23.75. You have a Japanese chronograph quartz movement with a 5-year warranty. 287-662. That's number 7.
And we haven't left the ladies out at all with the 36mm Casablanca. This is an elegant timepiece, and Lucian Picard is flexing its muscle to show that it cannot just make beautiful watches for gentlemen, but it certainly has its eye out for the ladies. You're going to love the fact that it's a 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, and a small seconds at the 6 o'clock position. You'll also notice the jewelry quality bracelet is done in almost half lengths, which means you don't have to take out larger sections. As Megan so greatly pointed out, sometimes when you have to remove a link from a watch, it can make it too tight, add it back, it's too big. By having the smaller links, you have more finite adjustment, which is going to make this watch very, very comfortable. All of this style, all of this detail with a mother-of-pearl dial for less than $100. Well under the 200 mark. In fact, go ahead and get 2. 287706, one for you, one for somebody else.
Number 5, the 42mm Marine Star chronograph from Bulova. I like that you guys are playing around with some color here with that candy apple red sun ray dial and matching bezel insert. Now this is a subtle two-tone because you do have a few accents of 18-karat yellow gold plating. You can see the screws in the bezel, the crown and pushers, and just a slight threading through the center links of the bracelet. It's a $425 Bulova. You guys know Bulova is expensive. You can expect to pay that in stores. You don't pay that here. $120. 5 payments of $24. 289561. That's number 5. Number 4, my hot pick, the 33mm LX Diamond from Movado. An elegant Swiss-made watch that features mother-of-pearl and 24 individual diamonds set into the bezel. It's all silver tone in a combination of brushing and mirror polishing, so it's that great daily wear look. Sapphire crystal, Swiss-made quartz movement, 5 payments of $120. We took $900 off the retail price. That's number 4.
Number 3 is the Auros. Now this is amazing. Now look at this. This is $279, but in just moments we're going to show you sets that are $299. Now, and you know, you're going to see some incredible values all the way around. This is one of my favorite variations of the watch because it's added that rose tone gold.
Yes.
And it just dresses it up, whereas the Auros before was a beast of a watch.
Abistos.
Did you really just do that? You got a little something in your teeth. And
oh, I thought I did. You're not funny.
I would say that out loud. Like, oh, asparagus. But this is one of the watches that really looks very elegant. It's hard to say elegant and laugh at the same time. The watch really is, and it dresses up with the gold. You are exactly right that sometimes the silver tone or even the all blacked out is a very sporty feel, a classic feel. This suddenly takes you to the office or out to dinner, and you don't feel like you're wearing, you know, your air tank on your back from the day before. 274855, the Swiss Legend Auros, and it is a bestseller.
Oh, look at that, coming in at number 2, the watch you rejected.
I didn't heject it. I just happened to.
It was his hot pick. I love that they've already removed the sticker.
I have propelled it into the top 10, and my new watch shall also be propelled into the top 10. Then we will average the sales of both to show that I have trounced your collection. 45mm Bosphorus. And this is probably one of the most unique designs from Lucian Picard. Notice as we come into that beauty shot one more time in the close-up that the sub-dial is actually rotating. There's not a hand there. The entire dial itself rotates to give you the information. It's a 3-hand configuration. The hour, the minute, you have a sweep hand that is designed for the chronograph, and then you also have a sweep hand that is a rotating dial at the 6 o'clock, as well as your additional dial at the 12 o'clock, which is part of your chronograph. All of this style for under $195. And right behind that,
the number 1 seller. You know, I'm excited that so many people are going to be getting mechanical timepieces.
And at a price, I mean, you can go ahead and wait. We'll go ahead and bring back out the Maurice Lacroix for $19,000. And you can have an incredible, mechanical watch. We can bring back the Eterna for $1,500. But here is a watch with no apologies. Because if you look at it as a $149 watch, you lose something there. You've got to realize that this is, anywhere that $300, $400, $500 price point is what you're getting. We're just able to sell it for $149 for the show. I mean, it goes back up to $309, and those of you, if you want to feel better, I got a $309 watch, then pay $309. If you want to find one of our retailers, give us a call here. We'll tell you who the retailers are, and you can pay the $775, and that way you can tell everybody it's a $775 watch. I like the idea of paying $149 and having the $775 watch. Well under the $200 price point, as promised, only $30 gets it home. It's an open heart configuration with a bit of an expansion to let you see not just the balance wheel, but the escapement right there. There is style within that, the satin finish, the silver part of the dial. Then you have the outer chapter ring, which gives you each one of the second indices, as well as the stick markers for the hours. Notice that there is a great deal of gold all the way around in the rose tone bezel, and you really have a gorgeous timepiece. Now, as I flip this open, I'm going to open the pry apart dual deployant, and I want you to see that mechanical movement. And notice that it is no rotor. You wind it by simply rotating the crown, and you can see every part moving that is attached to that crown. There is such a tactile connection between the inside and the outside of the watch through that crown. I mean, this is a sealed case all the way down to, 30 meters of water resistance? Yet I still have access to the inside by simply rotating the crown. There is a connection between you and a mechanical watch. That's why I think people who own mechanicals have such a passion about them. And you will too. You're going to love this watch. It's going to end up being one of your favorites. Like, I don't know what it is, I just love that watch. And people will see, even from a distance, that beating heart, and they'll ask you about it. They'll make comment about it. In the coming months, it may take a while. We're talking about, having a tourbillon. I'd say that very lightly, because that may be secret. I'm not sure. I overhear stuff, and sometimes I just say it. But, those watches that have, of course, a tourbillon almost always has an exposed tourbillon that you can see it, because people love that look. Well, here, with the open heart, not a full skeletonization, you can see into the inner workings, or take the watch off and see all the way through the skeletonized exhibition back, and you just love it. $149.99, only $30 gets it home, 287738. And please consult our website. If this isn't the right color and configuration, we have other designs. So please, please, please keep an eye out for just the one for you. Now, we're going to spread out some love here. Megan gets some love, I get some love. Why did you get the gold? You got both of the golds. Jenny, no, it's too late. I feel slighted.
Just this way it's even.
I'm calling Mom.
We are going to show you now 4 different variations of the 46 millimeter Swiss-made Abysos. Now, there was, at once upon a time, a Swiss-made Abysos that was a 1,000 meter diver, but that retired. Moved to a golf course in Boca Raton. We never saw it again.
It's happy.
So we've decided to bring out a variation, or variations, I should say, of the newest Swiss-made Abysos. I call it the Abysos 2.0. It uses an all-new automatic movement inside. It's the STP 1-11. The STP is from the movement company, STP. They're a Swiss watch movement manufacturer. And incredibly enough, one of our amazing viewers that we love so much, his name is Bobby, he did even more research on the STP movement company. And I'm going to tell you what he shared with us here at World of Watches, because we love to connect with you guys. You know that we love to talk and connect with fellow watch lovers. The STP 1-11, as he found out from contacting the movement company, can be considered comparable to the ETA 2824,
right.
which is known as that workhorse automatic movement. The STP 1-11 has a few additional hours of power reserve, so you're up to about 42 hours of power reserve, and it's got 26 joules in it. So it's a great top quality movement, Swiss-made movement, of course. And next hour, we'll actually show you a little bit more behind the scenes with Swiss-made Swiss Legend watches. But not only are all of these watches very different depending on the color combination, they are all, speaking of workhorses, serious workhorse watches.
Oh, because to be a professional dive instrument, you need that unirotating bezel. Well, that's easy. To get 200 meters of water resistance, well, that's a little harder.
Play.
No, that's a little harder.
Oh, I meant compared to these. Sorry, I didn't know where you were going.
Yes, it is. I mean, that's why most watches have 30 meters, 100 meters. Right. That beautiful Bulova marine star has the word marine in it, which is, connotation of water. 100 meters. We even have some Luminox that are 500 meters. 1,000 meters of water resistance. And I want you to realize that this box we're showing off is not an additional thing you have to purchase. This is what your watch comes in.
I love that. That's the packaging for your watch.
3-slot watch box. Now, if my watch is so waterproof, why do I need a waterproof box?
Because maybe some of your other watches aren't so waterproof, or if you want to travel.
Good answer. That's exactly right.
It's almost like we've done this before.
Well, we know that we travel and we'll often take more than one watch with us. Here, having a watch box that you can carry other items and they're going to be safe, they're going to be impact resistant, they're going to be water and dust resistant, that is certainly a value.
Yeah, even if you didn't want to use this as a watch box, you could actually take out all the foam and protecting covering inside, and you could use it as a watertight box for anything.
Camera, phone, if you're going out on the water,
yep.
And it would float. Now, you have to decide.
Sack lunch.
This is my Swiss legend lunch. Excuse me, I'm going off now. Now, speaking of which, we have some beautiful watches. Which one do you like best?
Of the two there?
You like the blue, don't you?
Yes, I do. I didn't even have to point.
There, I'm taking that one back. She loves that combination, and rightly so. Rudy, where do you want to go? Which watch would you like? The black one is classic. This is the look that I think of the no frills, serious diver. I don't want your rose gold. I don't need your pops of color. I need the serious dive instrument. I don't want anything to distract me. Boom, here you go. You're going to have 19 millimeters of thickness in the watch. Why? Because it has to stand the depths of 1,000 meters underwater. Now, if this tells you anything about Sapphitech crystal, which this is what this has, it has Sapphitech crystal, which has a 10-year warranty. 5-year on the watch, 10-year on the crystal. How strong must Sapphitech be if it can stand, and it's been tested to do so, 1,000 meters of water depth? Look that up, Megan. Find out what the pressure is at 1,000 meters.
Okay.
Just curious. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound so demanding.
Yes, sir.
Get right on that, Megan. Work, work, work. I believe that because this watch has so much durability to it, it's going to be that watch for a lifetime. Now, I want you to see that this watch is a lifesaver in the sense that if you're down at that depth, you need to be able to see what's going on here and what you've set easily. Notice the pip right here can be rotated. Now, if I move that all the way back around to the 12 o'clock position, you're going to see in just a second when we switch to the loom that you can see the pip, so you know how far the watch has been rotated. You're going to be able to see every element clearly. They have used so much Superluminova. Take a peek at this. This is what you're going to see if you step into a dark theater and are into the abyss. Doesn't that look great? Now, I'm going to slip the other one on. Now, I'm going to put on the rose gold because I think this dresses it up. But while they do that, why don't you come into the beauty shot of the one that's just like the one I showed you, but this time with a pop of yellow. Now, this is one of my favorites. This, to me, feels much more marine or nautical than some of the other watches because of just that yellow. There's just something about it. Now, that's a great selection. Just eyeball that for a second. See what you think. I think it looks incredible. I happen to like. Rudy, do you think that the yellow on there is good or bad? I like it. But it's the bling. Rudy's going for the bling. Jenny, do you have a choice? Oh, Jenny's going for the blue. This is one of my favorite configurations. There's just something about it that has a look and feel of gold. And that's because it's covered with rose gold. There is micronic plating. It goes down multiple microns over the stainless steel to give you that gold finish. Don't worry, it's not going to flake or peel. It's bonded to, it is attached to, it is deposited on the stainless steel. Look at that. Notice the custom lug. absolutely fantastic. Now, do you have a favorite, Megan? It's the blue.
Yeah, I'm going to put this one on because I like that it's 3 colors, silver and rose, and then the rich blue sunray dial and bezel insert. Now, assuming I did this correctly, and keep in mind, everybody, I was a communications major, not a scientist. At sea level, standard pressure is 14.7 pounds per square inch. So, when you are 1,000 meters, the pressure will be approximately 100 atmospheres, or 100 times greater than the pressure at sea level. So if the pressure at sea level is 14.7 pounds per square inch and 1,000 meters below the water's surface is 100 times greater, then you are 1,470 pounds per square inch of pressure when you're all the way down at the bottom where this watch can go.
That is incredible
I can crush something
that you
like,
figured that out. Because that mathematical equation.
It's incredible what you can do with Google and a little tenacity. Here.
But it handles that.
Yeah. And each watch is individually tested to that. So let's say you were in a submarine. I mean, I don't know what you guys do in your personal lives. You could actually wear this. It's not like we're just saying 1,000 meters. You have to understand, just like with the claims to be able to say Swiss made on the dial, watches can't just say, oh, they're 1,000 meters of water resistance without being tested. Each watch is individually tested to undergo 1,470 pounds per square inch of pressure. That's incredible.
Well,
that's why it's so thick.
It also gives you the assurance, because if you are going to have a 200-meter diver watch, and you may actually get close to that in your world, you don't want a watch that's always on the verge of being,
breaking,
blowing
crushing.
up. This is the watch that assures you that you're driving a tank, instead of just a smart car.
This is the watch of the 4 I go for. I love the silver tone. The rose tone is just around that massive bezel and crown. But I say this every show that we have one. I love dive watches that have blue. So I love this rich aluminum blue for the bezel insert that is done in aluminum. And that gorgeous, look when the light hits that sunray dial. To me, this is my favorite. And notice on my 6-inch wrist, sure, there's a slight bit of gapping, but it fits. And it fits nice and tight, which is how I like my timepieces to wear.
But over your wetsuit, that will be perfect.
Absolutely. 274857, that's the item number for this variation right here.
We should do a diver watch show and just show up in scuba gear.
289542. Here, we've got a 46 millimeter legacy. We are taking away.
Beautiful.
We're not 1,000 meters of water resistance. We're 200 meters of water resistance in a Swiss-made watch. And coming up in about 10 minutes, we are going to show you a very cool behind-the-scenes video of the Swiss Legend factories in Switzerland, where this little baby was born.
Like a Cabbage Patch Kid. This is a beautiful watch. There's no two ways about it. I love the fact that Swiss Legend is truly climbing that ladder and is making more and more of a name for itself. And part of that is the design, and the other is the craftsmanship. I've always felt good about the value within the Swiss Legend, the Aleni Barocus lines. I feel like they are just so well built. And now the designs are getting even better. This is such a classic piece. When you see this on the wrist, you're going to be so impressed with how this wears. This is one of the watches that you can wear to the office and then out to dinner or on the cruise. Wherever you're going to take the watch, it has a durability to it. It's not just a pretty face that's delicate. Now, there's some dress watches even, because you notice the chronograph gives it a sporty flair, but it still has a very strong luxury feel to it. This is what I call casual luxury, because this is a $400 to $600 watch. $1,000 is a little high, but you can find Swiss watches easily for $1,000. So this is casual luxury. Now, as you look into the watch, I want you to see the high mirror polish. As if I tilt and get the reflected light, you see that each one of the hour indices, the sweep hands, the skeleton eye sweep hands, and even the 12, 3, 6, and 9 have a great bit of polish on them. But notice that the chapter ring is almost like the high bank at the Daytona track. Sorry, I had to pull up a little Daytona Beach there. And you'll notice that it raises up, how three-dimensional it is. But then your hour indices are recessed all the way to the ground level on the dial. But your 12, 3, 6, and 9, they sit on a pedestal. So they almost touch that crystal. The ISA 8371 movement on the inside is phenomenal.
Took ISA 5 years.
Just incredible. Now you can see there's our start, our stop, and our reset. And I don't want that to really get by people. That movements you would think, okay, we've done it. It keeps time. What more do you need to do? The fact that the ISA company was able to add a level of expertise, improvement, and advancement to that movement speaks of, but why? Because they can. Why leave well enough alone? Because well enough isn't good enough in the Swiss watch world. Just like with Bulova creating the Precisionist line and the ultra high frequency. Isn't 10 seconds a month level of accuracy enough? Not when you can do 10 seconds per year, give or take. Here, Swiss Legend is now putting a movement that only a handful of watchmakers have access to. And I think because we have how many collections coming?
Of our company-owned brands?
Uh-huh.
We're going to have 200 or more.
Not 200 watches, 200 collections.
Yeah, each with different variations.
And it was interesting because I know that with our watches, we can order so many that we can have access to stuff that other designers may take much, much longer because we cut out a lot of middlemen. We have designs brought to us probably faster than most others. I imagine that, and this is what I love about NISO and that group. They're not out there, doing all these surveys of what does everybody want?
No.
Let's build something for everybody. They've built watches for somebody. That individual. This is a very individualistic watch. I mean, it's not your classic look. It's not everything you've seen. I mean, it's a classic design with a chronograph. But notice there's just enough style all the way around. I don't know why I took fencing in college.
Really?
That was the rules, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really am.
So should someone break into the studio and you happen to have a foil or a saber, I can fend them off. Just letting you know that. But this watch, for whatever reason, reminds me of the things of fencing because there, the Swiss Legend shield kind of looks like the heart. And the colors in fencing with that bright silver and the white, which was the uniforms that we wore, this just reminds me of that. I just feel like an Olympic fencer would wear this watch. It's very elegant. It is very sophisticated, yet it still has that sporty flair. 289542. Swiss Legend, 46 millimeter. Legacy is beautiful. Don't pay $400 when it goes back up in price. Right now, $224.99, only $45 gets it home. We are delighted to offer it, and we hope it's just the right one for you. What's one of the watches everybody asks about? Of course, Michael Kors and
Raymond Weil.
Yep, who knew?
I'm wearing my Raymond Weil right now.
Of course you are. I've always known the name, but I did not realize until I came here how popular it was.
I always notice them because they use that beautiful actress Charlize Theron as their ambassador.
We need to get her on the show.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you'll figure out a way to do that, right?
You laugh. You laugh. I'm going to wait till you're gone. You're going to be on vacation or something, then I'm going to have Charlene show up.
Charlize. Yeah, you know what? In fact, you call her Charlene. See how that goes.
You know what? You just go ahead. I'm going to wait for you to say dodecahedron again.
Dodecagon.
Whatever. 28710. You should kind of forget sometimes we're on live TV, don't you? Yeah. 39 millimeter. This is a great classic size for a gentleman or a lady. Now, I know this is going to look great on my wrist. I know that, but I also
listen to you.
It's the watch.
I
It's
know
not
it's
the
going to look
wrist.
great on me.
I haven't had the cosmetic surgery on my wrist yet. Having some plumping done. I think this is just one of those classic looks. And there's just something about Roman numerals. Over and over again, Roman numerals are what I love on watches. Now, the Raymond Weil 4200 series is what's in here. It's a 26 jewel automatic. In fact, let me do the dual push button, single scissor deployment for you to see. There it is right there. Take a peek. 100 meters of water resistance, all Swiss made. Of course, that's sapphire crystal, both front and back. You're looking into the beating heart of the watch. How close can you get up on that? Oh, he says real close. We're going to take the challenge here. Wouldn't it be great if it just went right through the watch? That's perfect.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful? Mm-hmm. I think there is as much style and beauty in the Raymond Weil watches on the inside as there is. I mean, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. I mean, take a look at that. I love the fact that they didn't have to, but Raymond Weil put that Cyclops lens over the date just to let you know that they're being a tad luxurious.
So what's interesting about this is the name Parsifal is actually an homage to an opera by Richard Wagner. And the collection, according to Raymond Weil, actually celebrates the noble and chivalrous values of the opera's hero in its own special way. And so they say it stays true to the design of the early models, even though this is a newer design, and it preserved the aesthetics. Isn't that interesting?
It's
I love
absolutely
that.
Beautiful.
You know, there's a lot of, interestingly enough, Raymond Weil does a lot, or I don't want to make this a blanket statement, but I'm just thinking, I'm wearing a tango, the Parsifal, named after an opera. We also have the Maestro collection.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of their collections have kind of these musical and inspired designs.
I told you I was in 2 operas in college.
Really?
Do I surprise you with my college days? I took fencing, and I was in Il Trovatore and La Boheme.
How cool.
Mm-hmm. What is fencing? It's how you keep the cows from roaming off your land. What is fencing? And you wonder why the graphics sometimes fall off. 2871000. Jenny is laughing over here. You need to get her into pins. All right, I want to take this watch off. I want Megan to slip this watch on because I think you're going to see truly how it just becomes a lady's watch the moment it goes on your wrist.
Absolutely. And Raymond Weil does technically consider this at 39 millimeters a gentleman's timepiece. I'm wearing my 39 millimeter Tango right now, which is, again, a men's watch, but I liked it so much I made it my own. It's so slim. You could wear this comfortably every single day. What's nice is this strap can accommodate over a 9-inch wrist. 287-100, not $2,700. If you wait, okay, here's what's crazy. If you wait a couple more hours until the price goes up at midnight, the price increases more than $1,000. Take advantage now while you have the 5 stress-free payments. Speaking of 5, let's up the ante a bit and go to 6 stress-free payments this next hour.
Are you insane, Megan?
I know, it's crazy.
6?
This next hour, we're going to have all different kinds of brands, some of our own, some of our great third-party brands, a few more Swiss-made Swiss legends, but every single item will be on 6 stress-free payments. Now, why 6? Why not 9 or 7
You
or
can't,
10?
it's illegal.
It's illegal, exactly. Well, that sounds a little dramatic.
Well, it is. Unless we're a lending institution, you can't make more payments because then you've gone into official lending, and that has rules about interest and what you can and can't do. So we can do stress-free payments, 6 of them, no interest. I mean, there'll be interest on your part. We want you to be interested, but you're not going to charge you interest. There's no interest in doing that at all. No, we don't charge you interest. So if the watch is $500, or let's go $600. Let's make it easier. You have to do math. $600, and we charge only $100 on your credit card. The other $500, we don't charge any interest on that. It's just each month following, we will charge $100 until it's paid off. And we send you the watch.
Yeah, we send you the watch after your first payment, and also we charge your card on the same date every month, so you'll be able to know and anticipate when it's coming. All right, and then we're going to jump into a preview right now, but then we're going to come back and check out something very, very cool before your second hot pick that we present. But first, this next watch almost made it my hot pick. It's an old favorite. It's actually the best-selling ladies' watch in Swiss
nice
legend.
Watch.
Check it out. 39 millimeter diamond ceramica. You have over a carat of diamond set into the bezel. And this is a solid ceramic timepiece. Ceramic case, bezel, and bracelet. 2-piece mother of pearl dial. This is nice because it's an ivory color. It really does match quite well the beauty of that natural look of mother of pearl. And then you've got all solid ceramic. Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, $260 or your first payment of $43. Can you afford $43 a month? You can afford a diamond ceramic watch. This design modeled after and inspired by the popular Chanel $15,000 Swiss-made diamond ceramic timepieces. Here, 43 bucks gets it home. I've purchased 2 of these as gifts for my mom since I've been here. 70927. Another lady, this is gonna be ladies' hour. All right, somebody get me a glass of wine. Here, another ladies' item. This is the legacy for the girls. Mother of pearl dial, 200 meters of water resistance, and an all-new ISA quartz movement inside with a 5-year warranty. The great thing about this movement is it's a multi-function. So you see that 6 o'clock subdial? You can offset that as a secondary time zone. Now in this shot, we've got it as the AM/PM indicator because you see the time is 10:10, and that little hand is pointing to the 10, or the indicator for the 10. You could set that though for any time zone you want. 289544. 6 payments. I love this. Remember, every single item will be 6 payments. And this is a Swiss-made watch. That Ceramica was a Swiss-made movement. Here, this is a Swiss-made watch. Mother of pearl dial, all silver tone, great size at 38 millimeters. 289544.
And right behind that is a watch that I own exactly. The Matador. Now, understand there are only 200 of these in existence.
And they've been out for about a month now.
So there's 200 in the silver tone, 200 in the gold plated, and that's it. So whatever we have left in quantity, they're done. They're not going to reproduce this. There'll be other styles, the other watches, but not quite like this double barrel. Now, I got the name Matador because Niso said the watch designers, when they looked at it, it's kind of like, the bull and the Matador just kind of standing at odds against each other. And each of the hands was like the swords that the Matador might use in order to take out the bull. Now, I think the watch really is fantastic. There are over 200 parts within the watch. It has a 42 joule automatic movement. It's the 2HR851 movement inside. 50 meters of water resistance. It's a 46 millimeter case. Limited edition Sapphitech crystal, both front and back. You will not want that watch to get away from you because once they're gone, they're gone. And I can tell you, it's one of my favorite watches. I've worn this watch out several times, and it always gets attention. People want to see it, and they assume, even at that $1,000 list price, that it is several times that because they just don't see that style. And it has a secondary time zone. It's a GMT. Isn't that beautiful?
All right. I love that watch. All right. Quick mention here. Very, very big seller tonight. And with good reason, it's my hot pick. 280854. It's the 33 millimeter LX diamond from Movado. I have to tell you, we have a great selection of Movado timepieces on our website. And what's nice is this is that classic Movado look with that concave dot at the 12 o'clock position, except it's done with a twist because you've got mother of pearl and then 24 individual diamonds that make up those hour markers. Rose tone accents inside the dial. The rest of the watch is all silver tone. 5 payments of 120 bucks. You could put $120 down on any major credit card and go home with a $1,500 Swiss-made watch. Or you don't even have to go home. You'll be home and we'll ship it to you for free. 280854. All right. So we talk about all these Swiss-made, Swiss legends. We talk about Swiss-made watches in general. And let's, for people that aren't aware, what makes a Swiss-made watch? What makes it so important when you see a watch that says Swiss-made at the dial? First thing, the movement inside has to be Swiss-made. Second thing.
Oh, you have to have not only that Swiss movement, but at least 60% of the value, quality, and construction of that watch has to be from Switzerland. The third item, that movement.
The third thing, that movement has to be encased in the watch in Switzerland. So you can't take the Swiss-made movement, some companies do, of course, and then send it to Hong Kong and be packaged. It has to be assembled in Switzerland. And the fourth and final guideline is that it has to pass final inspection and certification according to
Switzerland.
According to the Swiss Federation. So those 4 things right there. And what's funny is it's only been in the past year that they upped it to 60% of the value. It used to be 50% of the value of the watch.
That's right.
So they're getting even more strict and even more stringent with what makes a Swiss-made watch.
They're very protective of that name and that moniker.
So when you see Swiss-made, that's why it's more expensive. Now, with Swiss Legend transitioning to Swiss-made, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, where does that stack up amongst, the Tag Heuers and the Omegas and the Breitlings as far as where these watches are assembled? I, naively, I guess in my mind I pictured in Switzerland, like
little tiny shops.
yeah, all these little factories, and one said like Hublot on the door, and then the next
and a little man inside was just cobbling away a Hublot watch.
I guess that's just what I pictured. As it turns out, there are only a handful of factories in Switzerland, so a lot of your favorite Swiss-made brands are actually assembled in the same factories.
Side by side. Like if we were inside one of those laboratories, those clean rooms, I might be working on one, like a Swiss legend, and she may be working on one of those very famous high-end brands that are several times more expensive, yet they may be pulling from a lot of the same sources for their parts and movements. And in fact, you need to see it. Wouldn't that be just great?
Absolutely. So we're going to show you right now a little behind the scenes. I love this video. The music, it's very romantic. We're going to show you a little behind the scenes of Swiss-made in Switzerland, Swiss legend. Awesome.
From Switzerland right to you. And literally, I'm holding a watch that you saw being assembled. Now, I can't tell you it's the exact same watch, but it is the same style, it is the same dial, and for all we know, this could have been. Now, chances are pretty slim, but I love the romanticism that in Switzerland, which has incredibly high labor and very high skill level.
Yeah, we talked about this in the show yesterday. The minimum wage in Switzerland is $25 an hour.
Yeah, we're moving, because that's about what we're making right here. It's one of those that truly, when you realize that someone hand-assembled this, there's not a machine somewhere. It's like, I think of the cartoons at times, you know, like the Bugs Bunny cartoons, where they're just stamping everything out, and it's just, you know, every 5 seconds, watches spit out of the factory. It's not. To do this level of precision, quality, and craftsmanship, and to be able to have that moniker at the 6 o'clock position, it has to meet every standard. And for this to have the level of accuracy that it does, the only way is for it to meet all the criteria. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful timepiece. And I love the fact that you have access to this gorgeous 46mm blue Geneve. Now, the black dial or the blue is, both of them are equal favorites of mine. When I saw this inside of the vault, I picked it up. And then I went to the other watch, and it's done so well, I had to grab this one because I need you to see the quality of this. Now, when you look at the dodecagon shape, it is very reminiscent of some very, very famous watches. Now, continue just looking into that now. How close can you get on that, Rudy? Oh, that's good. That's real good. I want you to see this close shot to see that texturing in the center part of the dial. Now, you saw how those cabinetiers or watchmakers hand applied each hand, each dial. You saw the setup where each piece of that watch is hand assembled. This cannot be done by machines. It just can't. Now, you know, as you take a look at this, I want you just to realize that you have this beautiful dial, but you also have this outer bezel that is all ceramic. What does that mean? You know, when they did bezels like this, whether it was Rolex or any number of the even high ends, they used to be a form of enamel. Now, Rolex has switched to ceramic. Well, we started out with ceramic. Why? Because the same reason they did. It is scratch resistant. It is so difficult. Don't think ceramic as in pottery. Think of fired, hardened material that is scratch resistant, fade resistant, and it's going to bleed right over to that Sapphitech crystal. You know, I can sit here all day long and I can apply that much pressure to this. I mean, I am pushing back hard with this. And can you just see that? And there is no scratching whatsoever. There you go. Take a look at that. I mean, I am applying as much pressure. I don't want to... Now, you can shatter this if this were to fall and hit at just the right angle, or if I hit it hard enough. But you know what? A diamond, which is one of the hardest substances on this planet, if you take a hammer to it, you'll shatter it. But you're going to have a hard time scratching a diamond. In fact, a diamond would cut this. But you know what? You're not going to get through this. And now you also, because it's Swiss Legend, you have a 10-year warranty on this crystal and a 5-year warranty on the movement and the components. That's amazing. There is 200 meters of water resistance within this watch. And the ISA 8371 movement, again, you're talking about an incredibly accurate movement. Let me slip this on. I want you to see. Now, notice how generous that bracelet is. It is solid. Can you get any kind of idea of the weight of the watch by the movement there? I mean, there is a heft to this that they spared no expense. When Swiss Legend decided to go all Swiss, they did not just, you know, let's go half-heartedly.
Not at all.
I mean, they have certainly tested the waters in a lot of different areas with their designs over the past few years. Now they have made that commitment to leap into the deep end of the pool, and I would put this watch up against any number of watches. Any number of watches. Notice that you have not only the 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, continuously operating sweep hand is a small seconds at the 3 o'clock, but 2 additional sub-dials for the chronograph. You have large piston-style pushers, an oversized crown, and a date complication between the 4 and 5 o'clock position. You have an awful lot of high mirror polish all the way around, and this really is beautiful. Now, this watch is a little larger. Megan, is this the... Is this not the 48?
You know, we're going to get a different item number for you. Regretfully, we have the wrong graphics up, and let me explain why.
This is so many different sizes in this
There
watch.
are many different sizes of the blue Geneve, but the 48 millimeter is the only one with the chronograph. The 46 millimeter is the 3-hand.
That's right.
So we will take this away right now, please, and thank you. What you're looking at is the full size, the 48 millimeter. It can get a little confusing.
And that looks good.
The 46 millimeter is the one with the 3-hand. That's the number we had the graphics up for. We're working on fixing that right this second. So just hang on for 1 second. We'll get the right number for you in just a moment. But that's how you can tell. And what's nice about that is that we have different sizes depending on what you want. This is the full size 48 millimeter. So if you want the chronograph and the biggest size, go for that. If you don't care about the chronograph and maybe you want something that's a tad smaller, gentlemen, you could do the 3-hand in a 46 millimeter. And then the ladies, or a gentleman, if you want something even smaller, could do a 38 or a 42 millimeter.
Which is classic size, still looks great, still can be either masculine or feminine depending on who's wearing it.
Absolutely. I like the 42 millimeter. A lot of ladies around here like the 42 millimeter. So we're going to get, do we have the item number for the 48 millimeter? Okay, so we're going to give you the item number. I'm going to say it out loud then. For Wiley's top pick, we still want to get the item number for the 48 millimeter, but this is the 46 millimeter. This is the 3-hand. I know you like this one.
Which do you like better between the chronograph
and the non-chronograph? It just depends. I mean, this chronograph obviously looks sportier. So this is the correct item number for the 48 millimeter. The 46 millimeter. 287835. This is the number, and this is the watch you would get. The 46 millimeter, it's an ISA 2331 3-hand movement.
Still Swiss made.
Oh yeah, it's a Swiss made watch. It's just not the chronograph. You still get 200 meters of water resistance. You still get the ceramic bezel insert.
And I have an entire collection of friends, and this boggles my mind. The moment you show them a chronograph, I don't want all that busyness. It's not busyness, it is beautiful. I mean, I love the craftsmanship within a chronograph. Some folks absolutely insist on having the much plainer dial. But let's shift for a second. I want you to see the other version.
This is the one that was on your wrist.
Yes, I like this.
287824. So this is the item number for the 48 millimeter.
I like this one. I really, really do. This is my pick, and I hope it'll be yours. I think you're going to be very, very pleased. And if anybody does purchase the 46, I get credit for that. I'm just going to take the numbers on that.
All right, 287824, Swiss-made, Swiss legend. And yeah, that was cool in that video we showed you.
Oh, I loved
them
it.
working on this exact watch model and movement. That's awesome. Brand new ISA movement side that we've never used before as a company that ISA took 5 years to make. Now, let's go to another Swiss-made watch. Should have been in last hour, but it's in this hour because of the payments. 6 of them.
Now, this watch, being an automatic, has the ability to do something I have never, ever seen any other watch be able to do. Because when you have an automatic movement, you have the ability to have it either gain or lose seconds over time, because the spring changes its sprungness. The parts, as they move over time, whether friction builds up, whether there's wear, it just has the ability to change, and even atmospheric pressure can change how accurate a watch is. So what do? Well, on most occasions, if you have an automatic movement like this is, you will take it to a jeweler and they will open it up, and there's a micro adjustment on the inside that you should not calibrate, because you would not know whether it's too much or too little. Here is something that Accutron by Bulova has done that is a stroke of genius. Notice you have a sub-dial right here, and it looks like a retrograde dial. But what you have is actually the calibration for the movement. If you buy the watch, and this is where some people, even if with the high-end watches, they'll tell you my watch runs too fast, it runs too slow. I've had to send it back to Rolex, I've sent it back to Breitling, they're working on it. My watch winder, I can't get the right speed. How about this? If this begins to run too fast or too slow, included with the watch is a key. So instead of having to open the watch, all you have to do is have this port, which is connected to the inner workings inside the watch. It will recalibrate for you. You simply insert a key that comes with the watch right here. It will make the adjustment very finitely. Don't worry, you're not going to break it. And if you feel like it's running too fast, you can slow it down. If it's running too slow, you can speed it up. You can make just the micro adjustment. And when you get it just right, you don't have to go see a jeweler. Now, should you change locations, or maybe change even with seasons, there's a number of things that can affect what's going on the speed of the watch or the vibrations on the inside. If you find over time it's changing, again, it's not another trip to the jeweler. It is simply a matter of using that key. Now, it's a 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, a continuously operating sweep hand. Notice you have a dual push button, dual scissor deploy it. The all Swiss-made watch easily goes on the wrist. And remember, Accutron is the luxury arm of Bulova. This 43 millimeter watch, the Calibrator, how aptly named, is a great fit, and it really has a stunning look to it. Not many people are going to be able to have a watch that they can self-calibrate. That is a rarity. The fact that they've used such a greatly decorated dial, I love all that stippling in the middle, that additional dial for the calibrator, the date complication at the 3 o'clock, the easy to read skeletonized hour and minute hand, and a sweep hand, all of this for under $480. Now, if you want to pay $1,600 for this watch, go to the mall. Go to the jewelry store. They will present it to you like it is gold. Or the wow price, which saves you hundreds, is $1,120. For you right now, for the show, $479.99, and it's only $80 to get it home. To make it easy, to get the calibrator to you right away, you put that first $80 we send it, the other 5 payments come over time. Look how beautiful that genuine leather strap is. And do you see how long that strap is? That's probably one of the longest straps. Even Swiss Legend doesn't use a strap that long. That is amazing. So don't worry. If you have a very small wrist, this 43 millimeter case is going to accommodate. And if you have a super long need for a strap on there, don't worry. We can accommodate you, gentlemen or ladies, if this is going to be the right size for you. And that deployant is going to make it very easy to set the size. We love when we have just the right watch for just the right person, and 290494, I think it's the right watch. You will not regret it, and it's at just the right price. I may
what were you going to say?
I may just have to show these.
Now, these two timepieces, these are a must-get for a lady in your life for the holiday season. But you know what, ladies? At a price like this, you don't need to wait for your husband, your boyfriend to wise up and buy you this timepiece. You can get this yourself. For $43 down, I would say use the payments, unless you want to pay it outright at $260 after midnight tonight. In a few hours, the price goes up to $500. Here's what's so great. You are going to save so much money, and yet you're getting a diamond and ceramic watch. I'm showing you two options here. Item numbers for this one, and we'll come in closer. We'll go to this one in a moment. As I mentioned during the preview earlier, the first one I ever got was this one right here. I got it from my mom the first holiday season that I worked here, and then shortly thereafter we got her the black and silver tone version. She wears them both all the time. Ceramic timepieces, what makes them so special? Well, it's basically indestructible. It is a scratch-resistant, hypoallergenic, non-porous material. It's the kind of material I call the wonder material, because you can wear a ceramic timepiece. I'm wearing a stainless steel watch. It's got scratches all over. The bezel's a mess. Ceramic is the kind of watch that will always look brand new. So your bracelet, your bezel, your case, all that where you see this beautiful ivory color, it's always going to look like you just took it out of the box. What's so nice is I don't really like white watches. I don't really like white accessories and things because they get dirty. Ceramic will never ever stain. A couple of years ago on the show, we did an experiment where we took one of our ceramic ceramicas and we put it in a cup of coffee and we let it sit for nearly the 3 hours on the show. We took it out of the coffee, poured a little water on it, and you saw live on air, we need to do this again. It did not stain even a little bit. And it sat in coffee.
If it was the coffee here, that watch never slept again. We have the strongest coffee in the world.
I know. I can't have it past like 10 a.m.
Because when anybody walks through the halls here and just says cafe, everybody rushes out like you've just opened up a candy for the world.
So this is something that whether you get makeup on it, self-tanner, you spill red wine, nothing will stain.
Did you say self-tanner?
Well, like if a lady puts makeup or self-tanner on. I know people do it. Not here, obviously. I'm about as white as the watch. But you never have to worry about staining a white watch or scratching it. Coming back in closer, though, let's get to the superstars. Start inside the dial. That's a two-piece mother-of-pearl dial. What's nice about seeing it with the ivory color is it almost looks like the watch color is mother-of-pearl. That's a two-piece dial with elegantly applied Roman numeral hour markers. Your bezel, which funny enough is a unidirectional bezel, even though it's just all diamonds, features over a carat of diamonds. When we talk about diamond weight on a watch, that means in the entire inventory, one watch, whatever one has the minimum diamond weight, whether it's off by a single point or a tenth of a carat, that's what we say the entire collection has. The minimum diamond weight on these timepieces is 1 carat, 4 points. So you have over a carat of diamonds. And look at them. They're not diamond accents. They're not diamond chips. You can see each individual one is a 4-prong jeweler set diamond. And this is a $260 price. Now, I don't want to, make light of the last 2 hours, but think about all the watches in the first hour that we saw that were under $200. Not a single one had diamonds on it. We're $60 above that at $260, and if you use the payments, you're at $43 a month. I mean, that's not that, in my world, that's not that much money, Of course, everything is relative. And you're affording a diamond watch. This was the first variation I ever got my mom, the white with the rose tone. Again, I love rose tone. I like that it's a rich and inviting color combination. And my mom wanted a white ceramic watch. White is the most popular color in ceramics. Inside is a Swiss-made movement. You have a pull-apart, spring tension, dual deployant clasp. Look at your case back. We even put ceramic on the case back, and the reason for that is because ceramic is hypoallergenic. So some people tend to have allergic reactions or get irritated by the mystery metal. I'm joking about mystery metal, but by base metal, which is found in a lot of timepieces. We use 316L steel here, but still, we took the extra step to put ceramic on the case back, so where if you do get irritated by certain metals, you won't with ceramic. Here, the stainless steel accents that you see are done in rose tone, which again, I love with the white. 39 millimeters on the wrist, but it's easy to wear. Ceramic feels like wearing glass, although it is so much more durable than that. It's cooling on the skin. It's lighter in weight than stainless steel. I mean, look at this, how stunning this is. You also get 100 meters of water resistance. My mom wears her ceramic timepiece. I've seen her wear it in the pool. You don't ever have to worry about it. And because it's hypoallergenic and it's scratch resistant, nothing is going to hurt, so to speak, your watch. One last feature I want to mention, they have sapphire crystals. Between the sapphire crystal and the diamonds and the ceramic, you've got a tank on your wrist. 85803. That's how you know this is an old favorite around here with the item numbers, because there's only 4 of them, 5 of them. Moving on now, very quickly, we moved on to the Michael Kors Windward. And we have 2 variations to show you. We'll start with the strap, and then we'll add a little extra.
Both you and I really do appreciate both of these variations.
I do. I like this one better, I think, even than the first.
I knew you were going to say that. Usually it would be the bracelet because just the durability, the bling factor, so many different things. But this strap with the cutaway, like you would see in certain aviation, in the automobile racing industry, where you're able to take away that which is not needed and what's left behind is strong and lightweight. There is something very racy, something very sporty about these watches. And at first glance, well, I have to tell you, even at second and third glance, you don't realize it's Michael Kors. It's only when you stare into that dial for a moment, you go, really, that's a Michael Kors watch? Well, because they are known for being very feminine watches, very much ladies' watches. But then that's all changed. Because just as Michael Kors, back in 1981, started his career in the fashion world, it was around 2006 that he started adding all these accessories. Well, Michael Kors is just as popular in men's fashions as he is with ladies. Now, obviously, the ladies' fashions are much larger by sales, but gentlemen have seen the style that he offers. Here, he's offering the accessories that make everything from those shoes, that briefcase, that jacket, that pressed shirt look equally as good. And here you're seeing, with the 46 millimeter, just the right size, a lot of sporty aspiration and a lot of style. The moment you pick up the watch, you realize there is quality here. This is not just a fashion trinket where he's thrown his name on. And both you and I have seen watches they're usually at the checkout counter, and they'll have a name you recognize. And I hate to say any of them, but you can pretty well guess which ones I may be referring to, that you just go, oh, it's the name, and then you pick it up and you realize all they did is find the cheapest watch or accessory and stamped a name on it.
It's true.
I'm serious. And here you have, Michael Kors helps design. It's his approval. And the quality has to meet the same quality that he does with his fashion, or you can really damage a brand. Now, I happen to like the watch an awful lot, and this is one of those Michael Kors that I can get behind and go, you know what, I'd wear that. Now, let me show you how this wears. Incredibly lightweight, and because you do have the aeration of the strap, it's comfortable even in warm weather. And I don't know about you, but sometimes with a leather strap, if you're on a very, very hot place, the perspiration builds up underneath, and that's why, I can't imagine how you wear your watches so tight.
I love it.
But I have to have a little bit of give. And the fact that this has the aeration through it just means that this is going to wear more easily, more comfortably. And I think that looks really great. With what I'm wearing right now, the black shirt with just a little bit of color to it. This is nice. This is really, really nice. Now, you and I both had this conversation. Some people, if they have a choice between a leather strap and a bracelet, they'll always choose the bracelet. Now here, this watch is only $199, not $259, and certainly not the full price of $325, which is what you pay in the Michael Kors store. I want you to see that Michael Kors took this seriously enough, just like our designers do. They offered a second variation. Same watch, different bracelet. And for just a little bit more money. $209.99. Look at that, $350 for the stainless steel. Now, why would you want to pay full price? These are solid links. This is not what I expected. The moment I see a watch by a designer, and it's not one of the, I mean, we're kind of snobby. You know, we can look and scoff. Look, we have new designs. We want to feel the watches. We want to see them. Because we don't ever want to present something inaccurately to you. We always want you to be happy. Because if you can't trust us, then we don't need to be on. We don't need to be on here. You don't need just talking heads or salespeople that will tell you anything that you want to hear to buy the product. I mean, they have access to my Facebook page. I don't have like a fake Facebook page. That's the one that, you know, has everything on there. People can find us through Twitter and on social media.
And we invite you to connect with us.
There's people that call me. Seriously. I gave them your number.
Your mom doesn't count.
Well, she is my favorite watch fan. I love the fact. Sorry.
Put your readers on.
They stepped away from the controls for a second. The plane started listing. I really want you to just see, just for a moment, how good that looks. The bracelet is solid. I mean, there is a weight to it. And Megan, just take that for a second and feel how heavy that watch is.
Oh, wow.
That's not...
The case is nice and thick.
Yeah, that is not a lightweight, like, oh... Remember how Nisa was talking about our cases have gone thicker like we're doing with automatics? I think this is kind of that weight and quality.
Absolutely.
I hate to say it because I hate to push Michael Kors out there when we've got such, such good values with our Swiss made. But if you're looking for that name, you're looking for that quality, you're looking for the style.
Great gift to give.
That's it. It's the gift. Because... you know, as our brands continue to grow, some of them going back to 1923, here is a brand everybody knows. I mean, Jenny, think of how many people in your world, they know Michael Kors. Not everybody in your world may know Swiss Legend. We're changing that. But you will know Michael Kors. And what a great value at $209. It's going to be a super gift, and at only $35 to get it home. You will not be disappointed. We promise. There's 6 payments there, and that's going to be able to do it. $209.99. 283066. We know you're going to love it. It's Michael Kors. By the way, I like the leather one better.
I like the leather one too.
Sorry.
All right, let's move on to a Swiss-made Swiss Legend, a 38mm Swiss Legend Legacy Collection. So we aired this earlier in the gentleman's size. And now we've got a smaller size meant for a smaller wrist. You've got a multi-function calendar inside the dial. It looks like it's a chronograph, but it's actually a multi-function calendar.
Is it exclusively a ladies' watch, or can a gentleman wear that?
I mean, it's up to you. It's up to what you're most comfortable with. I would say that in a version like this, where it's just mother of pearl and all silver tone, it certainly has a unisex look to it. We get jaded, and I'm sure a lot of watch collectors out there watching this program will agree that not everybody wants to wear a 48, 50mm watch. Not everybody has to. 38mm at one time and very recently was a classic gentleman's size. My dad has a vintage Omega that's a 36mm that he wears.
Exactly. You say that like that's really small. That's what I have.
Yeah, so it's interesting that, yes, this is now considered more of the trend for ladies' timepieces. But gentlemen, if you like the look and you like the size, why not? Bracelet's certainly generous enough. 38mm, of course, you know what you're getting here. All 316L surgical grade steel. Not base metal, not mystery metal. 316L surgical grade steel. The superstar is the dial, of course. That is one piece of A grade mother of pearl. Look at the way the colors are picked up. Because mother of pearl is made in nature, no two dials will ever look alike. Even if we took 8, 10 of this exact collection and lined them up all next to each other, each mother of pearl dial would look slightly different. So the ISA multifunction calendar inside gives us a date window, a day of the week, and a secondary time zone. Now, being that it's 10, let's just say 10:10 here, I have it set for the little 22. So I'm using it as an AM PM indicator. But just operating the pusher at the 4 o'clock position, I can offset that for any other time I want. Look, now it's a time zone somewhere in Europe. I love that. I like a multifunction more than I like a chronograph in this case, because for my personal use, I don't need a chronograph or a stopwatch. So I like the sport luxury look of a chronograph, but in something that functions better for me. Before we come in close, look at how the 38 millimeter lays. Perfect fit on the wrist. This is that great size. And what's interesting is it's got such a wide dial opening that it looks larger. Look, I've got a 39 millimeter on my other wrist. Looks to be about the same size.
They're both beautiful.
This is going to wear slightly larger. And just as you saw in that video, this is a Swiss-made Swiss legend. Now, we do use our Sapphitech crystal. We're very proud of our Sapphitech crystal here. It is the only crystal in the watch industry with a warranty. Think about that for a moment. Think about how many brands have their own crystals, their own lume, their own whatever. Swiss Legend is the only watch company in the world that has a proprietary crystal that is warranted. And the warranty is for a full 10 years. So we at Swiss Legend, or I should say at Swiss Legend, our parent company, they could have given it a 1-year warranty. They could have done a 6-month warranty, and they would be above every other proprietary crystal brand, because no other brand warranties a crystal. But it's for 10 years. And notice when the light hits it, that anti-reflective coating over that crystal. 289544, that's the item number. I love this watch, straightforward. We've seen a lot of classic timepieces, ladies. A lot of timepieces that are those no-brainers, like this. Here, we're at the 46 millimeter blue
nice.
Geneve. Quick mention here, it has the ISA 2331 movement. It's got the black ceramic bezel insert. It's a 200-meter watch, so you can wear it while diving. But with the silver tone dial and the silver tone case, and then just that slim, glossy black ceramic ring, perhaps of the blue Geneves, this one looks a bit more dressy. I think you would call this at one point one of the executive watches.
It is. It's that watch that will take you without showing off. There's a quality to it. There is a look to it that just really does bespeak of just a super nice watch without it being just over the top. Now, this is one that you have to consider. Give that, a pondering, but this you don't have to ponder. Just go ahead and order.
Yeah, this is a superstar watch right here.
Just stare deeply into your television right now.
Even though it looks like the sad emoji face.
It does. You can turn it upside down. Look, now it's the strange eyebrows.
And now it's the unibrow face.
Okay. We're just going to come to the live shot. We're not going to say anything. We just want you to stare into the watch for a moment, and then you're going to buy it. Why? Because that's what happened to me.
Yeah. You fell in love with this watch even when it was in the prototype phase, because I remember when we were in Niso's office looking at these watches.
It emits a strange gas that makes you buy more of them. Similar to the controller.
I just fell asleep.
Okay. The Matador is a limited edition piece. Now, there is a gold tone case and there's the silver tone case. I happen to like the silver tone because you see the different colors of the metal within the barrels, within the hands, within the indices and the case, and I like that there are multiple colors there, as it's more monochromatic in the rose gold. For each variety, there's only 200 for the planet. You can figure out there's 7.5 billion people and only 400 watches. Only 200 in this color, and they've been selling for about a month. That means we have very limited supplies. Rudy, do we even know how many we have left of these? A handful. Now, we'll see, because we're in the process of moving right now to our new corporate headquarters in Studio 2. Okay, half of the quantity of these have been sold throughout the planet, which means there is only 100 of these left. Now, each watch contains 200 parts. The 2HR851 automatic movement is a 42 joule automatic with 44 hours of power reserve. Now, one of the things that's so frustrating to me about an automatic watch or even a mechanical, is not knowing how much power you have. Notice there is a retrograde power reserve indicator. Now, the motion of my wrist will cause that rotor to rotate. You can see it right there. And as you move, that rotor spins. That powers the watch. But you still don't know how much power you have in the watch, right? It's finding its way all the way to the full. And once it gets there, this is one of the watches, by the way, it's an automatic that you have to be careful not to overwind.
Oh, really?
Because it has the power reserve indicator. So it has, now we see the watch is 3/4 full. And if I was going out, I knew I was going to be gone for a long time, all I have to do is wind this and notice that just like a little gas gauge, it's finding its way all the way to the full. And once it gets there, this is one of the watches, by the way, it's an automatic that you have to be careful not to overwind.
Oh, really?
Because it has the power reserve indicator, so it has the ability to know when a full wind is, and that's when you stop. So, could you overwind it? I don't want to test it. I'm going to say that...
No, don't test it.
I'll ask Niso. He's going to be here in a few weeks. Take a peek. You have the hour, the minute, a continuously operating sweep hand. You have a secondary time zone, which is this red hand right here. Can you see that? So you have your original time, the secondary time, as well, which is your GMT, as well as your power reserve indicator and a sweep hand. The dual barrels look fantastic. The Roman numerals are in such a classic configuration. And as I flip that over, I just wanted you to see the back real quick to see the rotor, the Cote de Genève that's on there. Exhibition back on the watch. 50 meters of water resistance. Sapphitech crystal, both front and back. You know it's going to look good for years to come. Those were the things that sold me. I mean, when I realized that this watch had this much presence and it was at this ridiculously low price, you have to get it. And I fought and struggled over whether it was the gold or the silver. And then we decided it was really in this one, the silver. For me. You might like the gold better, so check out the website and see. Look at all the decoration that's within that dial. And I love the exclusivity. I just can't believe when I think about Niso spending all of that time, he and the designers, they designed the watch, and you have the opportunity to share it with the entire world, and then they only made 200.
So it feels special and exclusive.
I know, but it's kind of like, you know, when a car manufacturer only makes a limited edition and there's only X number of them, you just realize I'll never have one because the price is usually crazy. I mean, look at the Maurice Lacroix small seconds.
That's true.
You know, there's only 88 for the planet and they're in, you know, $17,000. Well, here's a watch that should be a limited edition $1,000 piece. It's only 200. I mean, there has to be something that covers the cost of the design, the manufacturer, the case, everything about this watch that's exclusive to it, all the way down to the 200 parts that are hand assembled, and then they drop the price to $349. Here's my challenge to you. Go ahead and get the watch. Put the $58.33 on a credit card. Get it home. We pay for shipping. It's a money-back guarantee. If it's not everything we've said, you send it back. Now, I do have to tell you, the watch is a little thick, but that is part of the design element. And I love it. It stands out. I cannot wear this watch without getting compliments. 283089, the Lucian Picard Matador. We were talking about this earlier.
You know, I've been thinking about this watch for quite some time on the show because I really like it. And we had this when Bulova debuted this new collection at Basel World this year, which was only about 6-7 months ago.
We should have been there.
We at World of Watches TV were one of the very first places to carry them.
Because everybody knows the name Precisionist now, but not everybody really, because Precisionist is big. It's a big watch. So the next level, the evolution of Precisionist, was to be able to take the Precisionist movement and shrink it. Because what makes it special is the 262 kilohertz that the piezoelectric reaction within the quartz movement has to give you accuracy to within 10 seconds per year. I want you to take a look at the watch, and then I want you to see, okay, think Precisionist. You know, okay, you got the coin edge or the rope edge. It goes all the way around. You have all the things that you might find in a Precisionist, and then you turn it on its side. Look at how thin that is. This amazes me that within this movement, In this case, they were able to get the 262 kilohertz. Now, simply put, the quartz movement, which can be so tiny inside of here, is in the shape not of a 2-prong tuning fork, but of a 3-prong. And when you apply electricity to it, it causes it to vibrate. That's called a piezoelectric reaction. So the battery inside causes the quartz to vibrate. Its level of vibration, which in a traditional quartz movement is 32 kilohertz, and it's going to give you a level of accuracy to within 10 seconds per month. That's fantastic. They've decided to make that little sucker resonate at 262 kilohertz. It's never going to rest. And now you have a level of accuracy to within 10 seconds per year. Phenomenal. And it's, of course, there's your 1/10 of a second, your seconds, a continuously running small seconds. There is your minute totalizer, start, stop, reset. Please note that you also have a reverse date wheel at the 6 o'clock position. It's a black wheel with white lettering, which matches perfectly, as does the contrasting stitching on this beautiful brown genuine leather strap. Now, Megan, how much does this watch appeal to you?
I like this watch a lot. I would personally wear this watch.
Really?
Yeah, I really do.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want you to put it on, then I'm going to put it on, because I'll close with closing comments. But I would love for you, since you like this is an adventuresome watch, and there is something very...
It's got a vintage style to it.
That's exactly it. It's somewhat of a field style, slightly militaristic, but not overtly so that you feel like you have to wear fatigues.
No, I'm crazy about this watch. I really love this. It's funny, we've seen so many watches today that were black and brown together, and what a great way to end the program. It fits my 6-inch wrist. Look at that. Sorry, I know I got that a little blurry. No gapping, no spacing. It's a slimline design. The vintage styling on it, but the leather strap, much like you would feel with your grandfather's watch, a watch that your dad gave you, it feels broken in the first time you put it on the wrist. And it's got such a generous strap on it. The strap can accommodate up to a 9-inch wrist. Now, I'm going to pass it over to Wiley again. Dancing away.
That is a generous amount of strap. I mean, sometimes, we worry, is this going to fit every customer out there? And then you have these watches that, here I have a 6 3/4-inch wrist. It fits down perfectly, just as it did on your 6-inch wrist. But this is generous enough, because I've got a couple of friends that they're big guys. And I'm sure, I'd hate to order something for them or for them to get something and then it not fit. This is going to fit. And I love the fact that you got bragging rights, because it's the most accurate quartz movement on the planet. I love the Wilton Precisionist, because it is what I call the doctor's Precisionist. But here you have all of that style, but in an ultra slimline case.
Yeah, I think this is more appealing to a lot of gentlemen out there who don't want something so big and oversized. This is going to wear on the wrist like a 43 millimeter.
I think this looks great. And again, you have all the bragging rights. $52.50. Go ahead and try to get this out there in the wild for the price we're offering it. You're going to have a hard time. We love this watch, and we think you will too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to bid adieu to our show today. Next week, we will be back out here with a very cool, think of it as a true pre-holiday weekend, next weekend, where we're going to max out all of our stress-free payments. Everything's going to be on 6 payments next week. We're going to have a ton of stuff coming up in the next few weeks. And 2 weeks from now, we're going to be doing a complete redesign and have some special guests coming out.
It'll be exciting.
Very, very
We can't
cool
wait
things.
to see it. We haven't seen the finished set yet.
I haven't even been to the new studios. I'm going to
Really?
need the address, and I have no idea where I'm going to work in 2 weeks.
Just tell the driver and he'll take you there.
Please, somewhere. Okay, so we're going to jump into a little recap now. You guys know the drill. We're going to start with the best-selling item and go down from there until we wrap. Remember, the prices and the stress-free payments, they're going to expire at midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight. So do not delay. You've only got a little bit of time left. If you're watching this on the West Coast online, the replay, you've got like 5 minutes at this point. So let's jump into our recap. The best-selling item of the past 2 days is...
Do you know?
No.
Oh.
I did not expect this, but I guess I forgot an hour and a half ago it was the #1 seller.
This is a beautiful watch, and if you are looking for that introduction to a mechanical watch to your world, and something that's not going to be high cost or high maintenance, then please consider this Lucian Picard Morgana. The mechanical is beautiful, it is going to be accurate, and it's going to be at a price point that's going to make it easy. And you're also going to love showing off the watch. Have you seen my mechanical watch? You're going to love it. Just like I've shown off that Matador since I got it, you're going to show off this one. $149. Don't tell anybody what you paid. Tell it was $775. That's what it's valued out in the retail world. Only $30 to get it home.
I always think that when you see skeletonized or exhibition dials like that, they always just look more expensive. Oh, look, your top pick.
Oh, look, mine made it to both. I think I had to slip Rudy some money to throw that one in there. This is a beautiful timepiece, and just as Megan pointed out, if you want the larger side, the 48 millimeter, then you're going to be able to get that chronograph. If you want just a simple three-hand, which is the 46 millimeter, you can get that as well. So if this is too large, don't fret. We have just the right size Blue Geneve for you. $194.99 for a watch that's going to be $400 in just a few hours. And $975 for a quality watch like this with the Swiss movement, Swiss made, all of that good stuff, but not for you. $194, $32.50 gets it home. We love the Swiss legend.
And right behind that, the 42 millimeter Marine Star from Bulova with that candy apple red sunray dial and matching bezel insert. It's a two-tone with gold tone screws, crown, and pushers, and then a slight accent of gold tone down the center portion of the stainless steel bracelet. 5 payments of $24, 100 meters of water resistance, $289,561. Right behind that, my hot pick, the 33 millimeter LX Diamond from Movado. Mother of pearl dial and 24 individual bezel set diamond hour markers. All silver tone with a sapphire crystal. Excuse me, don't know where I was going there. $600. We took $900 off retail in a couple of minutes or a couple of hours, depending on what time you're watching this. Price goes up to $1,000. Do not wait. 280-854.
I love that style. Now, if you want something that has a lot of style as well, but you don't even want to go near that price point, then consider the Lucian Picard 36mm Casablanca. This is a beautiful watch, and it's easy to size. As Megan had pointed out, you're going to have really basically half-size links within this bracelet, which makes it much more accurate in sizing to your wrist. Some of you might want to wear it as a bangle. Some of you may want to wear it tight on the wrist, but it's still going to look good either way. 3-hand configuration, hour, minute, continuously operating small seconds at the 6 o'clock position, under $100. You can get 2 of these and still be under the $200 mark. $25 gets it home. Go ahead and throw this on your order, 287706. And how about this for Michael Kors? It is the rather petite 26mm Lexington with that beautiful fluted bezel. It looks like white gold. It really has such a presence. And don't be surprised if somebody confuses it with an ultra high-end luxury watch, but without the luxury price. $119.99, and it's a name everyone has known since 1981. It's Michael Kors, and this is a stylish variation you will not regret. And hey, we're going to pay for shipping. 230604. Michael Kors, Lexington. Now, if you want to talk about a beautiful watch that has a presence on the wrist, the Swiss Legend 46mm Legacy chronograph really has a pop on the wrist. I call this my fencing watch because it just reminds me of back in the day. There's just something about the watch that looks very sporty but very sophisticated and elegant. Only $224.99 for this all Swiss-made brand new design. Don't pay $400. Don't wait for the price to go up. Don't let it get away from you. Only $45 to get it home. Go ahead and put that on the order. 289542. Don't wait. Don't let time run out.
And the ladies' version of the Legacy. Here you've got a Swiss-made multi-function inside your Swiss-made watch. That 6 o'clock subdial is a secondary time zone. Mother of pearl dial, genuine Swiss Superluminova, 10-year warranty on the Sapphitech crystal. 289544. 6 payments. Coming up right behind that, a Swiss-made Bulova Accutron with a modified Valjoux 7750 automatic chronograph movement. I know, it is attractive. Rose gold plating for your case and bezel. A gorgeous, gorgeous black guilloche dial, all that texturing done by hand, and a rich dark brown croco embossed leather strap, 226304, sapphire crystal. And the 40mm Kirkwood, another Swiss-made Accutron by Bulova, with a 26 jewel automatic movement inside. $600 for a $2,000 Swiss-made watch, full skeletonized dial, so you can see right into that movement. 5 payments of $120, 226295.
Speaking of Michael Kors, how about this very race-inspired windward? Now, whether it is racing planes across the field or whether it is going to be racing cars, you're going to love this great stylized piece. And it's only $199.99. 6 payments on this watch. Imagine getting a Michael Kors watch home for only $33.33. Both you and I have chosen this one as just one of the best picks out there because you get all that name brand, but you also get a lot of quality. 283065. And of course, the last one is the Lucian Picard Matador. 200 parts within this watch. It's a limited edition piece. There's only 200 of them. So please do not let this one get away. It is one of the best values in the show as well because it's only $349.99. On behalf of Megan and myself, thank you so much for joining us at Swiss Watch International's World of Watches. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. Have a good week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hi, guys.